Okay, we're on. So we're up to chapter 13 of the Utenslag campaign on Storm King's Thunder. And I had a nice update. Thanks again to Dave for typing up those cliff notes. It's always handy to get a little summary of where we've been, but to briefly recap, you guys had stopped in Waterdeep while you were en route to see one Zindra Winterbow, who was an Emerald Enclave contact in Tribord. Your plan was that you were going to see her to warn them, her and the Tribor residents about possible giant interest in the area, and possibly also exchange some magical items that you found for ones that would be more appropriate to you. But anyway, first you had to stop in Waterdeep, and while you were there, you were taking care of the party. Took care of various errands. Mirror visited her father, Elon, I believe is how you pronounce his name. Anyway, he promised.
Elon. Yep.
To send word along to Zindra Winterbow. She's, obviously in the Emerald Enclave. So is your dad. So he's gonna let her know that you're on your way. You also, while in town, visited the tower of the wizard Chasloff Yarghorn. I think you actually had it in the summary as Yardhorn, but it's a goofy name no matter how you spell it. Foghorn Chasloff Yarghorn.
Yarg. With a G?
Yeah, with a G, as in goofy. So you showed him the dragon's eye, that red crystal that you picked up. And yeah, he agreed to take a look at it. And he said it would probably take some time. And while he's doing that, he suggested that you guys seek out one old Gnawbone, a green dragon who is supposedly located in the Crypt Garden Forest. Which is located northeast of Waterdeep, not far actually from Tribor itself. So yeah, you guys thought that would be a good idea, and he helpfully supplied you with some potions of poison resistance, just in case, it's a green dragon, And he said that you probably wouldn't have any problems if you're fighting the giants, but, doesn't hurt. But anyway, the next day, you guys collected your bounty for those giant heads that you carted into town and got a whopping 300 gold, I believe, for each one of those from the Lord's Alliance. And after...
Did we split that up?
I believe you guys did.
Or we just put it in the party kitty?
It's in the party loot.
Okay. Yeah, so...
Don, are you using the right mic?
I think so. Is that
better?
better?
There you go.
That sounds good.
I wanted to save you from my gnawing sounds.
Ah, that was very thoughtful of you. Sound effects are always optional. So anyway, you guys, after collecting your loot, you set out from Waterdeep along the road to Tribor. And not too far out of town, you actually got ambushed by a group of Zhentarim who tried to attack and kill you guys. One of their snipers escaped, but the rest of them were killed. And since it pretty much happened in broad daylight, there really wasn't too much of a question that you guys were pretty blameless for this. So the town, had no problem with it. They let you rest up and take a short rest before continuing on your journey. No harm done, not to them anyway, or to you. Well, minor bumps and bruises, but you guys came out of that pretty unscathed. But not too far outside of that little hamlet village that you were running through, you guys happened to spot another cloud that was floating against the wind, and it looked kind of similar to the one that you saw on the road from Golden Fields. Hard to tell because that one was pretty high up. This one definitely was lower, much lower in altitude, and was moving very erratically. And as you were watching it, it kind of zigged and zagged lower and lower until it crashed into a grove of trees about a mile away further up the road, just off the side of the road, actually. So that's where we left off last time and where we will pick up today. So I am going to move everyone to the overland map. And
I think we should skip the crashed castle and just...
Sure, yeah, why
forward.
not? Yeah.
I think we voted to just, ignore it and move on.
Yep, that sounds like a good idea.
Got more important things to do.
Well, it is just off the side of the road up ahead, and the road's leading that way, so...
How big is this thing? Is it like... a castle, it's got to be pretty big.
Well,
100 yards?
I was going to say, you guys didn't technically see... You couldn't tell what it was. There was some sort of a tall structure on it. You could tell that it was something that was 100 feet high. It looked like it might have been made of white stone, but why don't you guys all? Right now, you can't actually see it because it crashed into these trees. The trees are actually pretty tall, and well, you know what? Actually, the trees wouldn't be that tall because this thing was it was like over 100 feet tall, multiple hundreds of feet tall. So it'd probably be poking out of the trees. So yeah, you can see it. It's actually looks like less of a castle and more like a single tower. You can see like the upper stories of this tower. It seems to be white, and on top of this, instead of a roof, it's got what looks like a stereotypical wizard's hat, kind of canted at a jaunty angle, complete with stars and everything on the hat. So not your typical rooftop.
We
for
gotta look it now.
Now we do. Does it have Fizzband written on it anywhere?
Too far away to read, but you don't see any lettering, at least any obvious. There are some symbols on it, but they look like they might be like, wizard stars, like you'd see on like a cartoonish style
stars
wizard
and
hat.
crescents and stuff.
Yeah, half
we
moons
can't,
or a quarter
can't
moons.
resist that.
Yeah,
it's a wizard identifying as a tower.
Yes. Anyway, it hasn't moved since it crashed into the trees, so you guys
Let's go investigate.
Plenty of time to do whatever you want to before getting closer.
Hey guys, before we get close, I'm gonna help you out with a brand spanking new spell I got.
Ooh,
Nice.
We didn't level up, did we? We're still 5th, correct?
correct.
All right.
But I got a cool aid spell which lasts for 8 hours and increases your hit point max by 5 for the duration.
Nice.
I don't know, do you think that would be useful?
Sure.
But no temporary hit points?
Hit point max and current hit points increased by 5 for the duration.
And current hit points. Okay.
Yes.
Are they considered temporary? If you can pop the spell in the chat, that would be useful.
So don't forget, everybody has water walk on them.
Well, water breathing.
Sorry, water breathing. Yes,
Right.
water breathing. Thank you. Water breathing.
I dive into a pond.
It starts inhaling the water and blowing it out through his nostrils.
Don't cast it. Just show it.
What's the name of the spell?
Aid.
Oh, it's the spell aid. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were speaking more generically, but okay. Yeah, so it's a
No.
spell aid.
Yep.
So yes, you can cast that.
It's 3 creatures. It's only 3 creatures.
Well, there's 3 of us active, right?
Well, including
I'll
you,
give
that
it-
would be 4.
well, That's okay. I'll give it to.
I don't need it. I don't. I'd rather
All
have
right,
you
well,
guys take it.
All right, then I'll. Okay,
I get extra hit points, remember? Because I can change into a.
that's
Yeah.
right. All right, so I'll cast it on Serendial,
Thank you.
Mirror, and myself. Sam rolls out of luck.
Yeah.
You can change it to a newt.
As we get closer, I would say within like 100 yards, I will cast Long Strider on myself. But that'll be as we get closer.
Okay.
I have no idea how far away we are. But
Yeah, this grove of trees isn't huge. It's like maybe quarter mile or half a mile, and well, you can't really see the end of it, but it doesn't look like it goes on very far. But you're able to, as you actually enter the trees, the canopy kind of obscures the sight of the tower from you and you from it. So you're easily able to cast that before you really start to draw close. It isn't like right in the middle of the road. It's like maybe, a couple 100 yards off to the side, but you can see where the trees have been kind of smashed down by this castle, and you can actually see wisps of like mist coming through the tree, not moving, but just through the trees. You see like it's like the cloud literally landed in this forest with the tower on top of it.
So lots of dust and
Wow.
whatever in the air.
Yeah, there's a little bit of dust, but the cloud actually kind of made the air. It feels a little bit more humid under the forest normally.
Oh, okay. It's
But,
cloud.
Yeah, but you can see that it's not too far off the main road, so it's not like you get lost if you diverted off and wanted to go check it out.
okay, let's. I say just before we don't break the tree line. Let's just investigate before and see
Yeah.
what it is. Just don't walk right up to it.
Okay.
Do you want me to maybe cast silence on us? And then we
That'll really restrict me.
yeah, but just while we approach it. And then I could dispel it.
Well, if you want, I can do this spell. Pass without trace. Everybody gets plus
Ooh.
10 dex bonus to stealth checks. That lasts an hour. I don't know. I guess I would like to see
Yeah, let's
it
just,
first before before saying we should cast it.
let's I guess move cautiously
Yep.
and try to be
Yeah.
quiet.
Okay. As a reminder, Dave, silence is cast on a specific point in space that isn't mobile.
Ah, right.
Like,
You
watch
can't
I thought
cast
you
it
could
on a
cast it
coin.
on an object. Yeah.
Cast it on a coin.
Right.
It's a
But it's
20-foot
not
radius
mobile.
sphere centered on a point you choose within range. Any creature or object entirely within the sphere is immune to thunder damage, and creatures are deafened. Casting a spell that includes a verbal component is impossible there. It doesn't say anything about targeting an object. It says on a point.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then that wouldn't work.
Right.
Yeah, it's a little different than 3rd edition was. But in any case, if you want to, do you want to do the pass without trace?
And I
Nah.
don't want to waste a spell yet. I
Yeah.
think we should just move forward. How about this? We could do send. Do we have sneaky people? Can we just have them go
I have
50 yards ahead?
I have a +6 on my stealth, so I can I'm a ranger. I'm supposed to be kind of stealthy.
yeah.
I have a plus
Oh.
6 as well.
So why
You
don't
wanna-
us two go approach?
So we'll keep the rest of the party 50 yards back. You think?
Sure.
And then we'll go to the tree line and check it out.
Okay. Yeah,
Mirror
Samrel.
Groot.
Samrel actually has a +10 on his stealth too, so
Oh, okay.
Okay, then bring them along.
yeah, he'll come along with you guys. So you guys approach cautiously. The rest of the party hangs back, along with, I'm assuming, the familiars. You emerge, like I said, as you get closer to this clearing where this tower has landed. You can see it is an enormous edifice. It's basically, it looks like, first off, the clouds gradually start to like thicken and almost kind of coalesce up into this almost like a cloud gantry that kind of goes over your head like at least 20 feet or so. And atop that, you can see this massive tower that is easily probably 100 feet. It's not, I want to say, in diameter, because it's actually kind of hexagonal in shape. This tower, it's got like a hexagonal sides along with these massive supports that come off of it. It's several hundred feet high, and atop it is indeed this massively large wizard's tower. Wizard's
this
hat, I
thing
should
like-
say.
Leaning like at an angle, or did it land flat? and
It
it's
looks
just-
like this cloud that's supporting this tower actually was somehow solid enough that it essentially crushed all the trees that it landed in. So it is,
Holy-
yeah, it's more or less laying flat, balanced on all the logs of the trees that it knocked over and crushed
Got it.
flat as it landed. But as of right now, it's kind of difficult for you to see how you would get up there where you are at. You can kind of tell that you can see enough over the edge of the, not like over the edge, but standing far back enough back, you can see that there is one part of the tower that looks like it might have what looks like an entry in it. But it's kind of almost 200 degrees or 70 degrees in the other direction. So you'd have to kind of like try and navigate
is-
around it.
And is that like how far off the ground?
That still looks like, again, it's hard to describe in words, but basically this cloud, which is kind of misty around the base, seems to almost solidify as you get closer to the point where you can kind of push against it. It kind of feels like a cold, wet
Okay.
pillow that you're pushing your hands
Yeah.
against.
All right.
So it's
Wet
you could
pillow.
try and climb up it, but you'd probably need to make some sort of a climb check to do that.
Right.
So do you want to? I don't know. I vote that we go back, get the rest of the party, and then we just circumnavigate and walk around the top, walk around the whole thing
Yeah.
from the tree line and see what we see. That's my vote.
Listen, see if we see or hear anybody.
Okay.
Good idea.
So you get the rest of the party and start to circumnavigate this massive cloud in the clearing. It's a little bit slow moving. It's definitely difficult terrain because of all the crushed underbrush and other damage that this crash landing seems to have caused. In addition to, it's a forest. It's not like clean going anyway. But you start to work your way around, and as you get closer to the spot where you think the entrance to this castle might be, you do see, looks like this wall of this cloud kind of goes in a little bit, and looks like there might be what appear to be steps made of cloud. Very big steps, probably about a couple feet for each step. But it does look like it's solid but amorphous at the same time. Again, very hard to, it's like you're looking at a solid object but your eyes blurred.
That looks like a welcome mat to me.
And you can see that definitely if you were to go up those steps, it would lead you towards some sort of an entranceway.
Nice knockers.
I say we go up. Is anybody else?
I agree. Let's just
Why
go.
not?
Let's get our ticket book out and give them a DUI.
Need to look up the castle.
All right. Yeah, let's climb up these steps.
I'm just redrawing a polygon here quickly. I just did that completely wrong. Hang on. Screw it. I'm just going to draw a rectangle. It's easier. Or a square. Okay, that'll work. Okay, so you start to climb up, and you approach, and as Samuel's climbing up, he stumbles and hits his head on a log. And he's not unconscious, but he's like really super dazed and woozy, and doesn't say too much.
Needs to sit this one out for a little bit.
Well, he'll come with you, but he's not much use at the moment.
Like I'm Batman.
That's my in-game rationalization for Kyle being out for the moment.
Right.
So, you kind of make your way up these steps. Again, too large to really take it in single steps, but you can kind of hoist yourself up over each one. And again, it feels really weird climbing on clouds because it's cold and wet, but not like solid like concrete. But you can tell, you push your way into it, and it kind of compresses, and it feels really solid underneath. And as you get
like
up
walking on memory foam.
Exactly, yeah, that's very similar to what it feels like. And as you drop to what you think to be the top of this, and you can fully see this tower in front of you, I will move you guys to another map here.
Dun, dun, dun.
And this is what you see. There's this tower. You can kind of see the side view of the tower on the right, complete with the jaunty wizard's hat. And in front of you, it's actually a hexagon shape. I just obscured the the sides of it.
That is just weird.
That wizard hat, now that we're closer, does it look like it's actually cloth or like it's like painted stone or can't we tell from this distance?
It's tough to say. It could be cloth, but yeah, I mean, it's kind of shiny. It's daytime, so it does reflect the sky to some degree, but it's hard to tell if it's what kind of material it's made out of.
Okay.
It doesn't seem to be flapping in the breeze or anything like that. It seems pretty stationary at the moment.
Those look like giant Q-tips.
Yeah, what
those are actually the supports of the tower. If you look
arches.
Yeah, exactly. On the back of the side view, you can kind of see that support. It makes it almost look like a rocket ship, but those are on all. There are 4 of them are on the back side of it.
Got it.
So you guys are kind of gathered around the entrance. There is a big door with let's wait for it. A big knocker on it. Set at about
higher than we could reach. I take it.
It's about 10 feet up in the air.
Yep.
Wow.
All right.
And they don't have any knockers at like human level?
You don't see any. It looks like a very big, solid door.
I'm guessing
Okay.
somebody really tall lives in this thing.
How big is the gap underneath the door?
You kind of get down on your hands and knees and look, and you figure it's maybe like 3 inches.
Huh.
Is it
So,
crab sized? Could a crab fit under it?
That is a good question. How big is Krebs?
He's just a crab.
Well, yeah, but crabs come in lots of different
Little
sizes.
crab, you know.
He could scuttle. I'm going for a scuttle.
What breed of crab?
yeah, is it like a little crab like you would find at the pet store?
Or is he a
is it
spider
No,
crab?
no,
or-
a king crab like you would find
like
Red Lobster?
the kind of crab you'd find like in Maryland, like about that big.
Okay.
It's
Sure.
a crab. It's not like a giant crab or anything.
Right.
At least let me look. I don't think he is.
I'm looking
I
up.
have-
I bet a newt could fit under the door though.
Oh no, he is. Oh no, he's a regular crab.
Crabs. I'm looking up crab facts. Crabs vary
Very
greatly in
accurate.
size.
Yeah, its
Smallest
size,
species, the pea crab reaches from 0.27 to 0.47 inches in length. Larger crab. Okay, they're talking about span.
Well,
Yeah. He needs depth.
Yeah, but if you just look up crab in the journal, it should have a size on it.
Well, that's just like small.
Tiny beast. Unaligned.
I'm guessing he could scoot under there.
Yeah, I'm just gonna look up like the
Can you-
average.
Well, I also wanted to ask. So we are standing right under the door, and the handle's 10 feet up.
Yes.
I have mage hand. Can I just use mage hand and
Ooh.
try to raise it up and drop it, and raise it up and drop it?
Let's
That
see.
shit weighs more than 10 pounds.
That's what I'm wondering.
Tiny is 2.5 feet. That's the smallest size,
round?
though. Yeah, I'm gonna say that Krebs's shell pokes up a little bit too much to comfortably fit under there, and he
10
can't like squish because it's a
10
shell.
pounds.
Mage hand. Let me see.
10 pounds.
10 pounds of.
Yeah, it's 10.
You would
Yep.
guess that mage hand wouldn't have enough force to open the door, even if it weren't latched in any way.
So
Worth a try.
So to the group I say, so I can theoretically turn into a rat, crawl underneath the door. I'll have my whopping 3 hit points. I could look inside, or we can just knock.
I
Because
think we just knock.
if I get caught on the other side of that door
Right.
and somebody stomps on me, I'm fucked.
Toast. No.
Hey, I've got Revivify now.
But the door's closed.
You're on this side.
You
I vote we just knock.
All right.
okay? So you go up to the door, knocking. I'm assuming loudly or quietly.
No, like
or-
We
Boom, boom.
well, no, we put somebody on top of, stand on top of the shoulders, and I think we can get up to 10 feet with a 6-footer and somebody on shoulder.
Sure.
Sure.
And
I'm
then
pretty
that-
light.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
who's
there's
the
when I
soft-
said there's a knocker, it's actually it looks like there's the knockers and then there's like a handle at the right next to it as well. So you could actually kind of grab the handle if you want to.
Well, it's just
and open it.
Yeah.
Open the door.
Tie a rope around it, and we can pull it open.
Yeah, it's
want me to just
I mean it's reachable, like you said, getting on someone else's shoulders, it's easily reachable that way.
okay. So let's do a vote. Knock or open?
Let's open. They might be hurt.
Don,
I vote for knock. Let's be polite. And
Tim.
Okay.
Yeah, nice knockers.
All right. We'll knock.
All right, fine. We'll knock.
Okay.
Okay, we knock. We knock, Paul.
Briskly, loudly, quietly, tentatively.
We knock with the knocker.
Or how about
Okay.
your hammer?
All right, so you just go kaboom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Okay.
And okay, here's what we say. We're here from the welcome wagon. We see you just joined the neighborhood. Welcome.
And you forgot to bring your fruit basket along to give to him.
I know.
We saw you crash, and we were concerned for your safety.
We'd
Why
like
don't
to
you
tell
all
about
make
Amway.
why don't you all make perception checks?
I should tell you about Amway.
Click your character.
I'm looking. Hold on.
Oh,
I
that
suppose it
sucked.
doesn't matter.
Nice.
Man, Groot made a nice roller.
Okay.
Dang,
much-
Paul got.
You
Wow.
hear from inside a voice say, "Just let yourselves in."
All right, now tie the rope around and let's pull this sucker open.
Okie doke.
Yeah,
Okay.
Get invited.
I have rope. I can do that.
Okay,
I think
so
it's going to require all of us, though.
well, I was gonna say, we'll need one party member to be kind of like the primary strength person because it's gonna be a strength check. But
Okay.
Who's
definitely,
got the height?
Not Baldry.
All right, that's bizarre.
Probably Serendio.
No, I have a strength of 10. I'm a wizard.
I got a 12.
I'm 11.
Mine is 12. What about Samro? Can I
No,
get on his
He's
shoulders?
knocked. He's dazed.
he also has a strength of 8. So
Oh, God, we suck.
Yeah.
So looks like
We are girly men, you know.
I'll do athletics.
yeah.
I do I'm proficient. in that.
athletics would work. Yeah.
Okay.
Could you just turn into a bear and we'll tie the rope around you and then I'll help pull it?
Yes, I can do that. But I would prefer to save my shape changes
Right.
for.
All
Yeah.
right, all right.
Let's try it. Let's try it first. So
Okay.
we'll use tie rope, athletics check, and I need somebody's help.
Okay,
Or
so
can we all pull at the same time?
yes, I'm gonna say you roll with advantage then if everyone's pulling at the same time.
All right.
Sure.
Yay!
Hey, didn't
Nice.
even need it.
Okay, so yes, you're able with everyone's help to pull the door, and it doesn't appear that it's barred or latched or anything like that because it slowly pulls open. Seems to be a little bit creaky, possibly because of all the moisture on the ground. But it opens to reveal what looks to be some kind of a vestibule beyond the door, and beyond which
Alright.
is a kind of curtain separating the rest of the chamber or the rest of the interior of the tower.
Vestibule.
All right.
Hold on. Let's walk in.
Nope.
Yeah, let's walk in and say hello.
Hello.
Heidi ho.
Okay, let's see. So there's the vestibule. Where is the stupid thing here? It's an empty vestibule. There's a thin, translucent blue curtain that flaps in the breeze coming in from the open doorway.
A scrim.
Let's pull back the curtain.
Okay, it's a heavy curtain, but this one you don't need a strength check to move. You push it aside to reveal a massive chamber beyond. And this one, I think, I'll just reveal the whole thing. So yeah, it's a 100-foot high hexagonal chamber. In the middle of it, there's a giant-sized wooden table and a stone chair. Dangling from the ceiling by iron chains are 6 crystal spheres that seem to illuminate with some kind of an eldritch glow. And in the ceiling, there is a 20-foot wide hole in the ceiling of this floor. I think I can actually.
Is that circle?
Yeah, the dot or
Yeah.
the dash circle. Let
Yep.
me.
How high did you say?
It is 100 feet high. Let me try and reveal the side view here. Approximately what you'd be looking at.
Dang.
So yeah, pretty tall.
So the giant rubber nipple is what we're looking at up above us?
No, that is actually one. Looks like a side tower or something from the outside. That's the bottom of
Oh,
the
so
side
this
tower.
is the hole?
Yes, that is the
Oh,
hole.
okay.
There are also, I think
What's
there are 2
this?
statues, and I'm trying to see.
I think that's just the footing that's outside.
Oh yeah. That would be the footing
Oh, I see.
outside.
What is?
Okay, that makes sense. I was wondering what this big black thing
Yeah,
was. And
that's
what
like the side view of the footing, the same thing that's on the back.
Okay.
What are those statues? I can't.
I thought those were giant diamond rings that we could pry the gemstone off.
Yeah, these things.
Sure, because that would work just fine. That
Don't they-
never would be bad.
Don't they look,
Yeah.
don't they look like like giant,
A
like
little bit,
wedding
yeah.
rings,
You
engagement
know what?
rings.
This is kind of goofy. I can't remember the description of these things. I'm actually looking through here, and it's not actually describing them.
Stone golems.
Well, yeah, I'm going to say because I can't find the description on it on the first floor. I believe they're just statues, and it looks like they're very tall, like probably about 18 feet tall or so, and they are of humanoids with very kind of chiseled, roughly chiseled faces. So this isn't like a Greek statue. It's more of like a, how do I want to say it, expressionistic or impressionistic style of
Sure.
very very stylized humanoid who's bare chested but not massive or bulky, kind of almost kind of slender in build. But they don't really have any like features besides like a rough, like I said, rough chiseled outline. You can kind of see where their eyes would be, like a rough shape of a nose, but nothing really beyond that. And floating
nobody else is
down.
here?
What's that?
Oh, okay. Nothing. Go ahead.
Floating down from the ceiling above, you see two enormous sandaled feet.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
And revealing beyond that is looks like some sort of a robe. And coming down into view, you see.
Nobody look up the robe.
Yeah.
Yeah, did we see like giant orbs of flesh?
A very tall humanoid, roughly the same
Wow.
height as the statues, actually. He's wearing a purplish robe. He's got kind of gray skin and kind of very wispy white beard. He's mostly bald on top, but he does have some facial hair. It's hard to tell how old he is, but his eyes, which are actually kind of silvery, looks like they've seen a good number of years, and looks like he's been around for a while. And he kind of looks down on you all solemnly. Then he cracks a big smile and he says, "Hello, welcome. I've been looking for you for a long
Hey.
time."
I'm looking for us.
Yeah,
Are you
so
okay? 'Cause
Baldry
we saw
bows deeply and says, "Greetings, wise one. We saw your castle floating through the sky and then crashing, and we were concerned for your safety. And we
Oh.
came to investigate."
Yes, well, that's very kind of you, I have to say. It's, well, it's. Sometimes I lose control of this thing, and, well, I'd been looking for you guys for a while, and, well, the powers told me you'd be in this area, but it seems that last commune did a little bit more number on my wits than I thought, and, anyway, no harm done. Yeah, I'm fine. My name's Zephyros, and I'd like to welcome you to my humble abode. Who are you, might I
Hey.
ask?
Zephyros.
Zephyros?
We are
I-
honored and humbled to be here.
I tell him I am Groot, and why were you looking for us?
For
I'm sorry,
us?
but you seem like a pretty cool dude, but I don't know you from a hole in the ground.
And we are a very humble group of adventurers.
Uh-huh. Pretty low level, just FYI.
Yeah. we're pretty squishy.
Oh, I like him squishy.
Oh no.
Well, there
No.
is a bounty on giant heads, don't forget.
No, I've actually been told of your coming by the powers that I occasionally talk to, and they said that mighty band of adventurers would be coming this way, and you seem to match their description.
Well, you
Might-
flatter us. Who are the mighty ones?
That's our party name.
The mighty ducks.
wind.
Yeah, the mighty wind.
We break like the wind.
Yes.
No, I have to ask what you are doing in this area.
We are
Well, we
headed
were going to-
for
Tribor.
Tribor.
But first we are going to be making a stop at the Crypt Gardens and speaking with Old Gnawbone.
Oh, old Gnawbone. What would you ever want with old Gnawbone?
Well, we have been informed that he may be able to, or she may be able to give us insight and potential assistance with the seemingly upcoming battle with the giants.
Battle with the Giants?
Present company extended. Present company excluded.
Yes, present company. Yes, present company definitely excluded.
What quarrel do you have with the Giants, might I ask, apart from them being generally in a marauding state at the moment?
I think that you pretty much nailed it. Is that they're in a marauding state,
And they are
decimating
villages.
town.
Well, and have you been recently to Golden? I'm sorry, what was the name of the place? Golden
No,
Fields. Golden Fields.
The first place,
Nightstone.
Nightstone.
I've
No,
actually
the second
been
place.
to both places. See, what happened is that after the Sundering, I went and I'm an ardent I'm an ardent student of history as well as a researcher of general artifacts and wizardry, as you may be able to tell by the decor of my tower. But once I heard about or I learned about the Sundering, I wanted to find out what was the cause, what caused all this. So my research has led me to contact some spirits out there, these powers, greater powers from other planes, and they led me on a path to the village of Nightstone, where I believe, based on my prior researches, there was an ancient Astorian artifact that had been removed by a floating castle in the sky with a castle on a cloud, which definitely points to cloud giant activity. But more importantly, I heard of description of a band of adventurers such as yourselves who had recently departed. And word was that you had traveled along to the village or to the town of Goldenfields. So I made way for that place with all due haste and found again that I had just recently missed you and you had moved on to Waterdeep. So I've been trying to catch up with you, and now it seems that I have.
So you mentioned an event called the Sundering.
Yes.
What might that be?
Oh, the ordning's broken.
Okay.
Who?
What might be the ordning?
The ordning. Wow. If you're not students of giant kind, I could see how that might be confusing. The ordning.
Yeah.
Well, many ages ago, long time before the small folk walked the earth, Anam the All-Father created all the giants. And to each of his children, he bequeathed different abilities and stature, and they were carefully arranged in a hierarchy known as the ordning. And every giant knew his place in the ordning from birth. At the top, there were the Titans and the Storm Giants, followed by the Cloud and the Fog Giants, then Fire, Frost, Stone, Mountain, finally Hill Giants, and at the very bottom of the ordning would be the Ettins, the Giantkin, and the Ogres. But this hierarchy has existed for millennia, and each giant, as I said, is born knowing their place in the ordning. It defines their very existence, even long after the days of the ancient empire of Astoria crumbled into dust. But it has been the way of things since the beginning and always would be, or so it was thought. But some months ago, the ordning was shattered. Nobody knows why it happened, and there is no singular event that could really be tied to it, but every giant immediately and instinctively sensed it in the very core of their being and knew it was true. So
So what exactly does that mean? So it's a caste structure. I'm assuming by size, right? Biggest to littlest. But how can it break? I don't understand how it can break.
Maybe they
Neither do
decided
we.
that they're really all equal.
I understand this might be an alien concept to you. The small folk normally are not dealt with. They don't deal in this mode of existence. But as I said, it's intrinsic to all giants that they know their place in the ordning, and they are defined by it. They know that if they are of a particular caste, they will always be inferior to a giant of the next cast up. No matter, the best stone giant could never hope to approach the stature of the lowliest storm giant. But it has been that way forever, and now it is gone. It would be akin to waking up one morning and suddenly the sun is no longer rising.
Huh. So I don't see in the notes the name of the hill giant queen.
Oh, Goo?
Ghoulie. Goo.
Goo was the leader.
Goo, yes.
Yeah.
So is Goo? Did she break the ordning?
Goo. That would be Chief Goo of the Hill Giant tribe. Yes. What did you ask about her?
Did she break the
Was
ordning?
she responsible?
I sincerely doubt it. I doubt she could even get out of her chair.
Okay. All right.
But
we know that she sent her fellow hill giants to raid Golden Fields.
yes, I'd heard word of that when speaking with some of the locals, and that does not surprise me all too much. Hill giants are opportunists at the best of circumstances, but now that they feel they are aware that the ordning's been broken, every giant has dealt with this in different ways. Some have become depressed even to the point of committing suicide, but others are seeing this as an opportunity or some sort of a test. And now that this is the time to elevate their caste, to prove their mettle, and to take their place at the top of the giant hierarchy. But as you can probably imagine, this has led to a lot of strife among giant kind, and obviously having a tremendous effect upon the small folk that happen to be in the way.
Collateral damage.
Yes.
Well, that's not good.
No, it is not. And as I said, this is going to cause a lot more trouble before it resolves itself. As I said, the giants
is there any way to undo this sundering, or is it it just has to play out?
I sincerely hope there's a way to undo it, but it's impossible to
Okay.
know without knowing what caused it in the first place.
Okay. Do
So
you have any insight of where this may have occurred? Was it just trying to occurred, or when, or anything like that?
Well, when it occurred several months ago, but all the
Okay.
giants felt it at the instant it happened. It was everyone at the same time immediately knew. As I said, it would be as if the sun suddenly were eclipsed. Something that had been with you your
Okay.
entire life, and the entire life that you're aware of history, was suddenly no more. But as far as what caused it, that is something that needs to be found out, and my suspicion is that it's somehow tied in with you folk.
that's
If not, if,
What the-
if,
Yeah,
if
why
not,
would I
if
ask?
not, I'm not implying that you may be the cause of this, but from my conversations with the powers on other planes, they have indicated that you will be the ones who will determine what caused this and resolve it one way or another.
well. Whoever's speaking of us, I think they might have overestimated us just a little bit. But cool.
Well, self-confidence aside, it's not. Who's to say how long this may take? There was no indication of this happening sooner or later, or how long. You see, you're small folk. Your lifespan is definitely shorter than, say, mine would be. But I would imagine it would be something that would be completed before your lifespan was over.
Let's hope so.
Okay.
But I do have a tremendous
Dude,
amount
I
of
got a
trust in
couple
these
hundred
other
more years
entities.
left in me.
Okay.
But
Who are these other entities?
these other entities, through my wizardly magic, I am able to contact these beings from another plane and ask them questions, and they give me answers.
Via contact other plane?
Yes, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Huh. Well, do you have any advice for us? Because we've been trying to figure out what's been going on, and
Mhm.
we're taking the leads that that have come by us. Do you have anything that we can go on that might be able to help us find our destiny?
Well, I think your destiny is your own to find, but what leads were you following up on to pursue? I could perhaps give you advice one way or the other, and I'd be more than happy to give you a lift to wherever it is you're traveling to.
That would be freaking cool.
What do these
I would love a ride.
what do these artifacts have to do with it, and why are they collecting them?
Well, the artifacts are, as I said, from what I have understood, and there aren't many details I was able to uncover, but Nightstone in particular, that is rumored to be an artifact of ancient Astoria, the ancient giant kingdom that ruled over this land long, long before the small folk arrived. But as far as what its specific purpose might be or what its use might be, that I don't know. It was taken obviously by cloud giants, folks such as myself, but hopefully obviously not of the same temperament. What they intended to do with it, I don't know.
Hey, Kyle's
Kyle's here.
Oh, okay. Let me.
He
see if-
wakes out of his stupor.
Stupor. Hey, I'm going to ask the giant. I'm going to say, hey, tell us about those statues. Those are mighty impressive. What are those?
Those are statues that came with the castle.
Yeah.
Wah, wah.
Well, I love.
Meaning the
I
DM
love
doesn't
whoever
know where the hell they
decorated
came
this.
from.
Hey, Kyle.
Hello.
Let's see if I can. So, Kyle, bear with me here. I need to kind of re-add you
No problem.
to the
No,
stream.
I think you're on your camera mic, Kyle.
I fixed it.
Yeah.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah, there you
Yep,
go.
yep,
That's
yep.
better.
There we go. Got you added. All right, cool.
I gotta close.
So
the
yeah,
blinds, too.
why don't you guys give a recap to Kyle while I figure out about these statues?
All right.
Well,
He's off right now.
No, I have my
Sure.
headset's
okay.
wireless. I can hear.
All
you.
right.
So we walked up to the cloud tower, which is topped with a giant wizard's hat. We walked around the cloud base and found a giant staircase leading up. We walked up the staircase and knocked on the giant knockers and yelled, Frau Bluka! And then somebody from the inside said, come in. So we tied a rope to the door and came in. And now we've been talking to a nice cloud giant dude right there in the middle of the map.
Yep.
And he says that we are mighty heroes destined to solve the
Ordning?
the ordning.
The
It is
breaking
our-
of the
it is-
ordning.
It is our density.
It's density to solve the ordning. And the
Yes.
ordning apparently is the order of giants
The
from
caste
like
system.
the caste system from the Titans down to the ogres, right? And somehow that's broken. And we've been
Oh.
destined to fix it, apparently.
Shit's getting real with the giants now, and
Huh.
the little folk, the small folk, are collateral damage in this great.
He didn't say that.
Well, hey, we are
Pretty much
kind of
implied
collateral-
it.
Yeah, we're collateral damage with all the battling going on between the giants trying to move up, as it were.
And now he offered to give us a ride to our next destination, and everybody said that is freaking cool.
Cool.
Also, why does everyone have a cool background? What is
It's
that?
it's an update.
It's an update to Skype.
Yeah.
That'll
The
be
three
interesting to
dots at the
see
bottom
with
of
that amount of
your,
backlight that Kyle has.
Call, you can set a new background.
Yeah. If you go down to those three buttons or three dots.
Yeah.
Set background image, I think it is.
I
Yep.
don't see that. Mine must be an
I
old
had to
version.
update my
Ah.
Skype before it appeared.
Yeah, mine must be an old version.
Yep.
Oh, I just realized, Tim, your background is from the black hole. That's cool. USS
Yep.
Cygnus.
Yes, and Maximilian.
Yes. So
It's-
yeah, that's pretty much in a nutshell what happened. So yeah, you guys are in conversation with him. I didn't find anything about these damn statues, so they're just works of art. That he's a collector
Okay.
of art.
Okay.
Okay, so he has
Director of JDR.
statues
Well,
in
Appreciate
actually,
the art.
cloud.
He's pretty smart. Let's ask him about the dragon gem.
Oh, the dragon's
Yeah.
eye.
Oh,
Do we still
Dragon's
have
eye.
it?
So, well, no, it's we left it in Waterdeep because he was gonna.
Oh.
But we can ask him if
We could
he's
tell
so.
him about it.
Oh,
So
sure.
we came across an artifact which someone told us was called the dragon's eye. Have you heard of such a thing?
Dragon's eye.
It's a
That-
giant football-shaped gem.
Well, football is relative. Football to a giant would
Size.
be considerably larger. Assume you're talking small.
It's like a booger. For him.
It's a small football-shaped gem.
the,
to you.
the dragon's booger. Yeah, I've heard of possibly something. To be honest with you, I haven't researched much into dragon magic.
Okay.
So I couldn't say with certainty. It rings a faint bell, but I would probably need to go off and study. I'll tell you what. I'll do that on our journey if you'll let me know where you wish to go. It sounded like you were very enthusiastic to go somewhere.
We've never ridden in a floating castle before. This would be so awesome.
Well, I'm pleased that you're looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to traveling with you. But I still don't know where you wish to go.
I may have
So-
missed it. Where are we headed to? Yeah.
Tribor? Or are we gonna? Yeah, Tribor was our ultimate destination.
Well, if I remember right, you guys had said you were going to go to Tribor first to deliver this message.
Yes.
Because there was some urgency there, and then the
Yes.
plan was beyond that to maybe go exploring to the old Gnawbone
or whatever. Yeah,
in the,
because of a potentially imminent giant attack on Tribor. Wasn't that it? Wasn't that in the letter?
That was what was in the letter, yes.
Yeah.
And yes. And yeah, I'm assuming that you actually kept the letter as well to bring along as kind of proof of your.
Yes.
Yeah.
But so if I'm assuming you mentioned this to Zephyros.
Sure.
I missed what you guys said at the beginning about why we trust him. Is this just some random dude that we've wandered upon that we now trust with our lives?
Yes.
Or
Yes.
We're a trusting bunch.
He says that it is our density, and so he's been looking for us.
We're the chosen ones.
We are the chosen ones to bring balance to the giants.
does he know our names? How does he know we're the chosen ones?
He's been looking for us. He went to.
Did he just come across the first group he saw and say that he was looking for us?
No,
Or...
he's been trying to catch up to us. He's been following the first place that we went. Why can I never remember that?
Nightstone?
The first Nightstone, and then he traveled to Golden Fields, and then he said, and then I was told you went to Waterdeep. He gets these communications from spirits in other planes that kind of have been trying to lead him to us.
So he at least knows something of our history to imply
Yes.
that he knows who we are. Okay,
Yes.
that's all I need to know.
He's not some dude in a trench coat saying, "Hey kid, you want some candy?
Hey, you want to ride my cloud?
You want to ride my cloud?"
Well, hey, man, don't mess this up for me, man. I want to ride on.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, you're still out of it. You're still kind of woozy from that blow to the head that you took.
Maybe
Right.
that's why I don't trust him. I'm woozy.
Yeah, you're now
Bad touch.
Yeah, you're now kind of coming around. You actually were out of you remember the castle crash landing and this grove of trees up ahead, and you remember approaching it in the woods, but then you tripped and hit your head on a log, and
Blow to the head.
yeah, you're starting to kind of come back to your faculties, and you're like, oh, who's this guy?
Why am I in a cloud?
Why am I here? What's my name?
Why am I covered with the goo?
So Tribor, eh? Yes, I think I can take you to Tribor.
Weren't we stopping
How-
somewhere
how
on the way,
about-
though?
How about you take us outside of Tribor? Because I don't think you should really
freak the people
land in the town and let
Yes.
us off, if you know what I mean.
That is a good point. In fact, I employed a similar strategy when I was approaching Golden Fields and Nightstone. I put the castle down some ways apart. People are not generally very receptive to giants, the small folk in
Yeah, you're-
general. I am of the opinion
Generally,
that
pretty,
What was that?
pretty, you're generally pretty, I don't know, frightening, to be honest.
oh, I don't. I try to be. I try not to be, but I understand the intimidation factor that can occur, and there's a lot of distrust of giants. And Nightstone, especially, I could see being very wary of a cloud tower and a cloud
Yeah.
approaching, especially after their recent encounters with the cloud giants. So yes, it is a very good point. I will take you just outside of Tribor and set you down there. Not so far that you'll need to make a long walk, though, of course.
Right.
But
No, I
Um,
thought off of this, I thought we were going to Tribor first because the message is timely, and then we were gonna check the other item that we were gonna look at.
Okay.
So,
Yeah,
right?
we want to get that message off as soon
Sure.
as possible.
Right.
Sitting and
sounds good.
holding on to that probably doesn't help them.
Right.
yes, well, if you're going to the Crypt Garden Forest, I really you are on your own path, and I would not be one to try and persuade or dissuade you from any specific path, but I'd be wary of Old Gnawbone.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's very helpful to know.
old Gnawbone.
So are you saying we should get some more experience before going to
What about-
the
Oh, I'm
about,
sure you could handle a dragon single-handedly by yourself right now, but nevertheless,
Yeah.
it does not hurt to be wary when encountering dragons. They're not to be trusted. But
Having a cloud giant
Do you,
on our
do you have any
Well, what about the clanky one who couldn't fly straight?
Felglos? Right?
Felgo, oh, I've heard of the Flying Terror. I've not had the fortune of encountering the Flying Misfortune, but
Yes.
he may well be very. Generally, the metallic dragons are of a much more friendly sort, but well, I'm old. I'm set in my
amicable.
ways. I have to overcome certain prejudices of my own, but I've never really. Let's just say I've never really trusted the dragons, but
Understandable.
that is what it is. I try not to hold it against them, and I hope you would not try to hold that against me.
Absolutely not.
So, are there any
Let's
preparations that you
fly.
need to make before we head on our way?
No. Think we
I
have
think
everything.
I think we're ready to go.
Yep.
Well,
I want to
this is
sit in
excellent.
the front seat and see what.
Yeah, where's the controls on this thing?
Yeah.
Well, the controls are up
Oh,
in
what's
my
the hat
personal
made of?
chambers, and I would ask for the duration of the voyage if you refrain from entering my private chambers upstairs. I do have some other denizens, some griffins upstairs who would probably become agitated if you were to enter the area. And I still do value my own privacy in some way. But you are free, of course, to make yourselves at home on this main chamber or on the cloud itself outside. Once we get into the air, obviously I would caution you from straying too close to the edge, but you should be perfectly safe while inside the castle walls for sure.
Excellent.
The journey should not take too long. I would say no more than 12 days. So, do you have enough provisions to carry that far?
Oh, we do.
Yes, we have good berries. Right?
Yep.
Oh, excellent.
Berries.
Very
I do
good.
not generally know what small folk like to eat. I would, of course, offer you anything from my own larder, but it sounds like you may have yourself pretty
Oh,
well
if you
covered.
got some, I'd try some giant food. I've never had it before. If you got something yummy, I'd take some. I'll
Well-
try it at least.
Yeah.
And if you'd like to try a good berry, we'd be more than
Yeah.
happy to share.
You might need like 5.
Nah.
Well, I'll
No,
tell you
did-
what, once we get out rolling on our way, perhaps we shall have ourselves a feast this evening. Unfortunately, I do not have any
Oh.
additional chairs, and even if I did of your stature, they would not reach the table. But you'd be welcome to sit actually at my table, on the table, while we dine.
Oh,
I'd be
Sure.
that would be wonderful. We thank you so much for your hospitality.
Well, I am looking forward to this so much. Well, tell you what, you get yourselves situated here, and I will make preparations to depart. We shall leave in approximately 10 minutes.
Cool.
All right.
Excellent.
And with that, he floats back up through the hole in the ceiling.
Don't look under
and,
the robes. Don't look under the robes.
disappears
Relix
out of
is
sight.
gonna-
I want to go outside and see
Float
what.
on the cloud. Yeah.
I want to. Look, this sounds. I've never done this before. This sounds freaking awesome.
Oh, me too. I want to head out there and check it out.
I am not going to go near the edge, though.
No.
Okay, yeah. Well, while you're in the forest again, you can see the cloud bank is probably maybe 20 feet off the ground or so. So it wouldn't be like I would say you did. Maybe you'd take 1d6 bludgeoning damage if you fell that distance. But yes, and it's very difficult to see. You don't want to get too close because the edge is so amorphous. It's not like a hard edge that you can just look over. It's just kind of wispy, and it's hard to tell exactly where it ends. So, yeah, looking right over the edge would be pretty spooky if you were up in the air, you would guess. But from here, you can see that you kind of get a feel for how close to the edge you can get before the ground starts to become a little bit more springy, like it might slide you off. So you can feel pretty confident of what a safe distance would be once you're up in the air, unless the cloud substantially changes once it reaches altitude.
Awesome.
Relix is in the giant chair. I love it.
Yep.
Any preparations that you guys want to make before
Nope.
he departs?
I gotta
Okay.
just, like, lay out my bedroll right where I am over here by the wall. And
Okay.
sit on that.
Days.
I'm not going out there.
Wow.
It's fine.
How long was it going to take us to walk?
That's a good question.
Distance would be. Let me just swap
Yeah.
you over here.
I mean, shouldn't flying be like faster? Because you said it was going to take about 10 days to walk up there.
You basically can go about, when you're walking, you can move about 24 miles a day
Yeah.
at a normal pace.
Yeah, and you said this was about 200 miles. So I was,
Oh no, it's
So-
farther than that. Looks like.
not,
I don't know.
yeah, maybe 200.
It says 253 miles from where we are right now.
Yeah.
That can't be right. Look at the scale down below.
No,
Yeah.
that's right.
That's right.
That seems right to me.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It's exactly 200.
Yeah, 250. So, yeah, so that's
the
like
scale's
10,
a little off.
that
A
was
little
10,
off.
10 days then.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still 10 days. Yep.
So you think flying would be quicker. He said 12 days?
That's what he said.
Oh. I
Well,
suppose
eh.
he's not
Maybe
flying
he's-
like
Maybe
like
he's
jet
like
plane.
maybe he's like a bad Uber driver and he's gonna start making some side stops.
Should we just walk? If it'll be
Ah.
quicker?
No.
No, because we won't encounter anything up here. We'll get up there unscathed. Just a couple of days late.
Really, one day.
Yeah.
Wait, no, because you said it was 200, right?
Said it was 12 flying, and we would have got there on the 11th day.
So one
Wait,
day.
On
how
the-
many how many
unimpeded.
miles can we walk? You said 24.
24 a day.
Right.
Yeah, so it'd take us a little over 8 days to walk versus
Two-
12 to fly.
It's 250
Well,
miles.
It's 200.
Well, and assuming that we get the full 24 miles every day, that we're not held up
Yeah.
by encounters and things like that.
I guess we can waste 4 days in the air if you really want
Well,
to.
He already went up to start the
Yeah,
engine, so
yeah,
it's
the
kind of
engine-
too late now.
Yeah,
We can jump off.
the flight attendant is down and has asked us to put our tray tables on the up and lock position. So
Well,
Fine.
yeah, speaking of that, his voice actually floats down from the hole in the ceiling. Are you all set to go?
yes,
Fly this thing faster.
Why does it take 12 days?
Why are you so slow?
Don't make me come down there.
Are you on a deadline? I was just going to be
Yeah.
cruising at moderate speed. If you need to get there quicker, I could possibly make it go faster.
Let's
yeah,
do that.
please.
Sounds
If
good.
you could, that would be appreciated. We are under something of a deadline.
Hold on
I
to your
see.
butts.
How fast do you need me to go?
How fast can you go?
Well, I've never really tested this castle's maximum speed before.
Ah, let's have fun.
Twice as fast as walking would be great.
Well, I'll give that a try.
Okay.
48
Hold on to
miles.
something. Here we go.
All
If
right.
this thing shakes apart and we die,
Well, you could always turn into a bird or something, couldn't
Yeah, I ain't dying. I got
you're
feather
writing
fall.
checks your body can't cash, man.
I got
So-
feather fall. I ain't dying.
I could fly.
So yeah, as you're sitting there, you feel kind of a low rumble as the whole castle does shake a little bit, and you hear a lot of clacking and snapping of timber as this. You feel a sense of elevation. It's not a rapid raise like in an elevator or something like that, or even as like a levitate spell would
Right.
give you, but you definitely get the sense that you're ascending. In fact, the door is still open, and you can see through the open door gradually the
And Groot's
trees.
right by-
You're starting to raise past the trees. You see the tops of the trees, and soon you're looking out to clear blue skies. And
I
as you
yell
raise,
out, "Woohoo!"
the
I'm on top of
shaking,
the world.
the shaking gradually kind of subsides, and it starts to become a very smooth rise. Occasionally, you have hit a little bit of like an air pocket, and it's not like enough to jolt the whole castle, but you kind of get a sway like that, and then it kind of stabilizes itself.
turbulence.
So nothing
Oh,
enough that
cool.
it would even spill a drink if you had it like say on the ground or on that table, but enough to like sway like maybe 10 degrees, and then stabilize itself.
I'm gonna
And-
go over to Groot. Let's go outside. Come on. We gotta see this, man.
I'll go outside.
All right, yeah, you head out the front door, which is still open, and yes, you can see. Basically, we'll say the cloud boundaries is approximately what is on this map right here, and
Okay.
at its edge, you can see you are already probably quite a few hundred feet above the ground, and it's starting to kind of rapidly diminish in something that probably not a lot of you have seen before, unless you've taken the
Right.
form of a bird.
Cool. Do the people look
Groot?
like ants?
Groot, I would say that you'd probably be
People
the
look
only
like
one
ants.
familiar with this. Maybe Valdry. You haven't gotten the ability to fly yet, have you?
Yes, I have.
Oh, okay. I don't know if you've been up this high though. This is
Probably
definitely
not this high. No.
This is definitely higher
He's
than
yeah.
you've
been
seen.
high.
Yeah, man.
He's
Not
been
under,
this high
not
before.
while otherwise under the influence. Yes, everyone. Well, you didn't really see any people on the road as you were rising, but now you can plainly see the road stretching back all the way to Waterdeep. Waterdeep itself is actually quite impressive from this height, surrounded as it is by miles and miles of open countryside. It is still pretty impressive as a feat of human engineering or multicultural engineering, as it were, but nevertheless of that type of construction. It's still pretty formidable, but you are now starting to climb very high. The clouds are actually starting to approach in terms of height. The air is definitely cooling off. Not so thin that you can't breathe, but you can definitely feel now there's a definite chill in the air.
To 5 degrees per 1,000 feet is
Mhm.
the general.
So yeah,
What is the
Drop.
giant's name again?
Zephyros.
Is
Yeah,
he
I got it.
out here, or is he still
No,
does he have to actively drive this thing?
Yeah,
or does-
he's up in the cockpit.
Yeah, so far
we're
he
not
hasn't
supposed
he
to
hasn't come
disturb
down
him.
yet. You actually do
Okay.
hear some absent-minded sounded humming coming from upstairs. Like,
Fly me to the moon.
Well, anybody want to play some D&D while we wait?
Yeah.
There you go.
Sure.
Let's play Go Fish.
How do you spell Zephyros?
It's in the chat actually.
It's in the chat, yeah.
Oh, really?
Play Go Fish.
So
Ah,
after
got it.
a little bit of time, now you probably estimate that you're a few thousand feet up in the air. The air has definitely gotten a chill. It's very difficult to tell how fast you're moving, but eventually Zephyros does come down from up above, and he says, "Well, I've set it to a moderately fast speed. I think we should be safe and the castle won't fly apart. So
Okay.
I think we should be able to reach, based on current speed, maybe 7 days."
Oh, that would be
Sounds good.
Okay.
that would
Much
be
better.
just fantastic.
So, does anything ever attack you up here?
Oh, all the time.
Oh, really?
Really?
Like what?
Well, not frequently, but I mean that's why I have my griffins to mainly dissuade from any kind of aerial beasts that might be flying around. It's not as common
Mm.
as you might suspect, but perhaps they're put off by the daunting visage of my tower's capstone. But
Which is stunning, I must add. I
oh,
must
thank
say.
you,
It's
thank you. I
absolutely
designed it
stunning.
special.
Quite the fashion statement.
I do try.
Is it made out of cloth?
No, that is actually made out of stone.
Who
That's
built
super-
it for
wow.
Super cool.
I had it commissioned by a stone giant friend of mine, who has alas
cool.
passed many years back.
you?
Oh,
Oh, that's too bad.
Did he make these statues?
Actually, he did. He did.
Hmm.
These are ancient figures in giant lore, whose names I can't recall at the moment.
well, there's so many,
They are, yes,
track
and they're
of
really
them all,
they're more of
right?
a metaphor, really. The two guardians, I call them. They don't really do too much, but they're fun to talk to once in a while, and they don't talk back. But
Did
not
you,
nearly as
uh,
stimulating a conversation as you've been able to provide for me.
I'm
Happy
going to
to
name
be
them
entertained.
Barry and Larry.
Those
Jay
sound like
and-
good stone giant names.
Jay and Silent Bob.
Silent J and Silent Bob.
Yeah. Ren and Stimpy.
So in any case, I'm going to relax for a bit, but please tell me more about your backgrounds and where you've been. And I don't want to sit on your cat, so I'm going to go sit on this table.
I call
Well,
I
he's
call
less our cat than a companion cat.
I call Relix over and she comes.
Relax. I've actually not seen a cat with wings before. Did you breed her special?
No, she was the pet of some friends of mine that actually perished in the Nightstone attack.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry to hear that.
And
So you adopted her then as a new companion?
she
Oh.
adopted me.
Yeah, she kind of came to us. We
Yeah.
didn't.
She's just
Well-
very comfortable around me for some reason. I've been friends with them since my childhood, and played a lot with Relix, as I grew up. But yeah,
Well, I'm afraid I don't have any cat food here, but she's welcome to eat anything else that we might have handy, of course. You'll just have to let me know of any dietary restrictions.
Just don't
pretty
eat
much
crabs.
any type of meat she'll eat.
Hmm.
Just not
Well-
crabs.
Yeah, just not cribs.
Right.
I am actually a vegetarian, but well, I'll see what I can do. Perhaps I can have my griffins go catch something fresh for her to eat.
Ooh, she would like that.
Do you have any mice in this tower that need catching?
None that I've seen, but if she does stumble upon one, she's more than welcome to get rid of it in any way she deems fit. I hate to be witness to such suffering and pain, though. So if that does occur, please have her clean up after herself.
All right.
I've heard cats sometimes offer sacrificial leavings for their owners, and that's not something I would really be keen to experience. But I understand the nature of cats. That's at least, unless she's different in some way.
Well, she's
She
definitely
has
different.
wings.
Yeah.
Have you been to the
she's-
Feywild?
She is a tressum, is technically what.
A Tressum.
Or
I will remember that.
race. Yeah.
Just like
I-
you remember the names of those statues.
What?
Come on.
Have you ever
Hey.
you ever been to the Feywild?
No, but have you?
I'm from the Feywild.
Oh, you must
Okay.
tell me all about it. I've heard so many things about it.
Well, we don't get many giants there, so that's why I was just curious if you'd ever been there. Um, oh, it's kind of an interesting shadow version of this world, but I was interested in this world, so I crossed over.
Was there something that made you more interested in this world than that? All the stories I've heard have made it sound like a fascinating place.
It is very fascinating, but I wanted to check out new things and see new people, and there's a lot more people in this world than there are in the Fey world. So in the Feywild,
Very interesting. You seem like a dedicated explorer, and I can
Like-
relate to that because that's how I've spent my own life. Always something
Mm,
new to explore over the next horizon.
exactly.
I asked him
Well, some-
if he has any books I could peruse. I like to research things.
I've got many, many books. Was there something in particular you wanted to research?
Do you have anything on these artifacts?
Or giant lore, or
Yeah.
Or the
I have
ordning.
several. I have several tomes of that nature. However, they are in Giant. Do you happen to
Mm,
read Giant?
As a matter of fact,
I do.
I
Actually,
do.
I do too. I can read giant. That's
Awesome.
funny.
nope.
Well, I would
that's
be
one
more
of-
than happy to bring them down for you. I'll tell you what. I'll go find some possibly appropriate tomes. They're going to be rather large, but
right.
sure.
you will probably want something to occupy your time apart from just talking to silly old me, who tends to matter away at nothing. So I will. Yes, I will go up and get you some of these books.
You're
Was there
better
anything
than
else
me.
I can get any one of you?
Do you have any
Have-
wine?
I
Yeah, he
do
has a
not have
very
wine.
large glass of wine.
I do not have wine, but I
Nope.
do have nectar. I was saving
Ooh,
it though
that
for
sounds
tonight's
good.
dinner.
Oh,
Okay.
that's right.
Okay.
Perfect.
So you mentioned griffins. There's no way we could maybe see them or meet them.
They are rather skittish. I would not want to put you in any sort of jeopardy.
Oh, I've just never met one before.
Or how
I don't have proficiency in animal handling, but I'm pretty good at it.
Well, I can tell you what. If you want to go out on the cloud surface, I'll have them fly down, and we could see how they react to you.
Sure.
Sure, that'd be fun.
That would be most accommodating of you.
Okay. He says, well, "I'll tell you what. I'll go get those books, and then I will." Actually, I tell you what. I'll go up and release the griffins immediately, and have them meet you down on the cloud surface.
Okay. Cool.
So if you head out the front door, he rises up again into his chamber, and from up above, you hear some kind of clanking noises, and sure enough, 4 griffin actually fly out of the top part of the tower. Actually, I'm just going to reveal the whole side of the tower there. That's easier to see. They fly out actually of the top portion, the eyrie, labeled the eyrie.
Mm-hmm.
And they land on the cloud surface some distance away from you.
Okay.
Do you approach them or admire them from a distance?
No, I just admire them from a distance. I just think they're cool as shit, and I like just watch them and.
And I will make a
be all
slight bow
excited.
to them to show my honor and my respect to them towards them.
Okay. Yeah, and they're pretty impressive. I mean, if you're not aware, griffin is basically it's a large beast. It's got basically the body of a lion, with like the front. It's like the back half is a lion, and the front half is like a giant eagle. And they're very strong, very dexterous, but they're not terribly intelligent. They have like an
Are
intelligence of 2.
they?
I cast speak with animal and say hi.
Make an animal handling check.
All I said was I cast speak with animal and I said hi.
Yes,
Oh,
they have an intelligence of 2, so
Oh.
Okay.
That's a yikes.
I would say go ahead, make an animal handling check, but with advantage, since you cast speak with
Okay.
animals.
Can I aid him with mine?
He gets advantage already.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
that's a good
Got a
roll.
good roll.
Yeah. So the griffin kind of looks over at you when you were speaking with, if you were speaking with one in particular, and he looks like he's becoming a little bit less nervous. Like his tail was kind of twitching before, now it kind of slows to a more mellow wag, and he kind of cocks his head and looks at you curiously. Then he goes back to whatever he was doing, which isn't much because they're just kind of released out there and kind of.
Yeah.
After a while, they take off, and you see him kind of circling around, flying the perimeter of the cloud. They are very majestic beasts, and looks like they'd be quite formidable in terms of being
I'll
able,
bet.
like, good guardians of this place. And after a while, you hear kind of a whistle come from the eyrie, and they kind of circle back around and fly back and land in the eyrie itself. And shortly after that, Zephyros comes out the front door himself. Says, "So, what do you think?"
So they're
cool.
very amazing
Magnificent
beasts.
creatures.
They
I say
are.
thank you, Zephyros, for sharing them with us.
Yes.
We appreciate it.
Well, as I said before, they do help fend off a lot of attacks from other beasts that are airborne in the area, and as if the cloud itself wasn't enough to scare someone away. But from time to time, I do get other visitors, and having some of the griffins around does tend to at least deter those who would be more of an opportunist nature.
Well, if I ever found a school of magic, I will name a house after you. After your beasts.
Well, perhaps one day you'll manage to find yourself a tower like this, so you can live in the clouds. It is a
Yes, that would be fun.
The
Well, if you ever
view
get to the
is pretty
Feywild-
incomparable.
Well, if you ever get to the Feywild and I'm back, you're always welcome to stop by.
Indeed. Perhaps someday my travels will take me there, and if so, I will look you up.
I say to him, have you ever heard of the area or city of Mulhorand?
No, I can't say that I have.
It is in the far eastern reaches of Faerun. So
Oh.
I would not expect that not many travel there.
Do you know of, was that part of the giant nation of Astoria way back when? Or I can't recall how far east the realm existed back in the ancient days. Perhaps nobody does, for that matter.
Correct. Yeah, I as growing up there, I have never heard of Astoria or anything like that.
Yeah, it seems likely that it was probably yes, outside of the realm. As I said, I've not heard of this, but it sounds fascinating. Is everyone similar to you from that region?
No, I am somewhat unique, being of celestial heritage.
Oh, indeed. And are your wings always visible, Don, or are they something that you kind of reveal?
There's something I kind of reveal. If I were to have a top off, you would kind of see them there. But so normally they're not visible unless I decide to unfurl them.
Okay, so you kind of I'm assuming you have, you're not restricted. They actually come out of your normal clothing, but you maybe have them behind a cloak or something. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So he doesn't notice your wings, that you have wings, unless you want to show it to them.
Not right now.
Okay. He says, "Well, you did have a certain countenance about you that spoke of celestial heritage. Very interesting."
I suppose I should go back inside since the griffins are gone.
So can you fly? Whoa!
Ah!
Oops. Well, you said you were a celestial.
Yeah, like, oh shit!
He says, "Well, what have you?" He looks to you, Groot. So what have you? You look fairly well traveled.
I am. I've traveled all around. Are you a fan of the Emerald Enclave?
I've had some encounters with members of that order. Yes.
I don't know. I traveled for probably like 100 years with my my master Gemma Greenwood.
Hmm.
I don't know. Maybe you've heard of her.
I hadn't
But
had the opportunity to meet with her, but sounds
she
like
was killed by some. She was just recently killed by some Zent bastards.
Oh, I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
Zentarum.
Oh,
Yeah.
the Zentarum. Oh, devious
Yep.
lot them.
Yeah, we don't like those guys.
We don't like them.
Yes, as I said, I don't tend to. I tend to be more friendly with the small folk than the other giants, but that particular group I am not fond of. I've had some run-ins with them before too. They once tried to steal my castle, and
That's not
What?
nice.
I had to put them off a little bit.
Inconceivable.
They were dealt with easily enough, but nevertheless, it did not endear me towards that particular group. But interesting. So you've been around the world quite a bit, I see. Then.
I have. I've traveled from. I'll just read it from the Anorak Desert, Sword Mountains, Evermoors, High Moors, Great Peak Mountains. But my home was the High Forest. That's my favorite place in the whole wide world.
I can see the appeal. I mean, I prefer to live amongst the clouds, but even when we were down in that little grove of trees down there, I could sense the serenity that can permeate your body in such a natural wooded place. So I've always had a great deal of respect for the Emerald Enclave. My dealings do not intersect with them as much, me being more focused on the arcane, but when I have had dealings with them, they've always seemed a very fair-minded lot. And what of you? He looks to you, Serendelia. You look someone of perhaps my own bent, shall we say, of the arcane?
Yes, I'm a wizard. I was a battle mage back in the Feywild, and that's another reason I left. Was I didn't wish to be part of the. Didn't wish to be part of a military for the rest of my life. I wanted to explore, and the military makes you go where they want you to go. And so I defended the Feywild as long as I could, but when the call of the wilds, so to speak, came, I answered the call and came to this world. So, but yes, I'm a caster of spells. I don't consider myself a master, and most of my spells are more combat related. So, but as I grow and gain experience, I'm looking to expand the things I can do.
Well, perhaps we will have to exchange arcane secrets at some point in the not too
Sure.
distant future during our voyage.
I would be happy
And-
to.
So he's he brought down when he came back down. You notice the several large tomes. Again, these are huge books, probably about 3 feet by 4 feet in size.
I have to
That's
float
a
above.
big book.
Like
Yeah,
put them on
it's
the
a
floor and
huge
stand
book.
on the table to read them.
Yeah, well, he set them on the floor for you, so you can read them. Well, not having to climb up on the table itself to read them.
Sure.
But they're definitely big, and they are in giant. So, yeah, Groot, you can read it, and I'm sorry, was it
Mirror.
I can
Mary?
read
You
giant
do have
as well.
you do speak giant, or you do read
Yep.
giant, I should say. Okay.
Yep.
And there was somebody else. Was it Don or?
I can.
No, not me.
Okay, Samuel. Okay.
Not
So
me.
yeah, the three of you actually. He brought down several tomes. So if you guys want to spend your time reading, you can do that. And it's generally quite dry, just based on the first paragraphs that you scan through. Unless you actually settle in to start reading it, it's definitely a very dry treatise of history of the giants and focusing very closely on. I mean, yeah, imagine like the Silmarillion. That's kind of the style. Lots of begats and, but there's Depends on how deep you want to get into it. It sounds like there's a lot of information you could possibly pick up in terms of giant history there.
So, is there I've promised to send notification back. I forget the person's name that I was going to send animal messengers notes back to, giving them status updates.
To someone in Golden Fields? I'm trying to remember.
I think so.
Probably that Z.
Yeah, Z
Maybe.
Lang.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, if there's like a blue jay or something, a small bird that hangs out here that I could see, I would cast animal messenger on them just to give Z the notification that we're traveling by Cloud Giant Castle on our way to and enjoying the ride. Right? I mean, it's like woo-hoo!
There actually isn't a small bird in the castle. You would probably have to kind of like sit in the edge of the cloud and kind of watch for them, because you're actually flying above right now where most birds would fly. But you might actually encounter like maybe like an eagle or some other like larger bird that flies much higher altitude. But it would be like in passing, so you'd kind of have to be on the lookout for them. What's the range of that spell, by the way?
30 feet, so I wouldn't be able to see anything. I think the issue is that the farther away we go, this won't work because it only lasts 24 hours, and they can travel 50 miles per day. So that wouldn't work. That wouldn't work. So yeah, I guess she's out of luck.
Yeah, the first couple of days. If you saw something the first couple of days, you could possibly get a message there, but you'd have to still be within 30 feet, and yeah.
I don't know. I guess I'll hang out for maybe the first day and just see what I can see, and if something happens by, great. If not, I'm changing my spell, so I don't have an animal messenger memorized anymore. I'll memorize something else.
Go ahead and roll a d20. We'll see if you spot anything. 4. You spot a larger bird flying in the air, but he's probably about maybe 5 to 10 miles away. You're high enough that you have very good vision. You can spot these things moving around, but it's definitely nowhere close. And it definitely seems to be avoiding the castle.
Okay.
Let's see. Otherwise, yeah, I guess Zephyros does approach you, Samuel, because you really haven't spoken to him much, and
I'm sitting in his chair just practicing my harp.
Oh, okay. Well, then he comes over and compliments you on your playing. He says, "That's very skillful. How long have you been playing the instrument?"
Pretty much all of my life, since I was born, basically. My parents were instructors of the arts, and they taught me young.
Well, you've picked it up. As I said, small folk tend to have a very short lifespan, so I'm always constantly amazed at how much you can accomplish within those lifespans. And you seem like a younger sort, so I'm very impressed with your capabilities on this instrument. I'm sadly not musical myself. I've always wanted to learn, but other things always seem to claim my attention. But
yeah, if you'd like to learn, I could try to teach you, but this would be much too small for your hands.
Yes, I can see that would be, his hands are just freaking huge. It'd be like like a play my iPhone type of thing. As far as size goes, how big is that for you? What's the size of that?
It's just like a handheld harp, so it's like I can hold it in my hands, and play it.
Kind of like a lyre.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking like maybe a foot and a half. So for him, it would literally be like an iPhone type of.
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding. He would probably not be able to get his fingernail in between the strings. Well, if I ever stumble upon a giant lyre or harp of that nature and manage to convey it here, you will be the first person I contact for lessons.
Yeah, I also can play many other instruments, so if you happen upon any instruments and you'd like to learn, I can teach you.
Indeed, I will. You're probably one of the most musically gifted people I've ever heard, so I will definitely keep that in mind. So in any case, I will allow you to your leisure down here. I'm going to go upstairs and do some studying and prepare spells for the days ahead, and also start preparations for tonight's meal. But if you need anything, just call. The ceiling, as you know, is open, and I'll be down to attend you in no time at all. In the meantime, enjoy your ride.
Thank you, sir.
So he heads up through the ceiling and leaves you to your own devices. I think
I kind of let out a big sigh. he didn't really talk to me, and giants in general are my favorite enemy, but more so hill giants because they killed my mother. But it's not, I mean,
Seems pretty cool.
I'm not uncomfortable, but I'm not like super trusting either, I guess.
Okay.
Well, he did talk to you a little bit about relics and you raising him and everything like that. And
I mean, I'm giving him respect and all of that. And
yeah, you did
like I
not get
said,
the vibe that he was offended by your attitude or demeanor in any way. So I think I'm going to take a quick break here, and when we come back, we'll pick up with figurative dinner.
All right.
Super.
And feel free to bring literal dinner to the game table if you wish. In any case, we'll be back in a bit. All right, we're back. So you guys have kind of amused yourselves in this lower, I don't know what you call it, chamber, first floor of this flying castle. It is a very unique experience, unlike anything you've seen before. Occasionally you'll kind of go out and, just gaze out at the surrounding countryside. It's kind of tricky to mark your progress, but most of the day passes. Well, let's see, where would you be after a day? But
Probably not going to have any random encounters, are we?
well, I was actually just about to get to that. I'll go ahead and roll I'll go ahead and roll. It's definitely way less frequent than you'd get through overland travel. So I'm just going to roll like once per day. So, yeah, first day, nothing at all. Just like I said, Paul spotted a bird flying a few miles distance. Occasionally, I mean, you're kind of roughly following the track of the road. What is it called? The long road. I thought it said lounge road first. The long road to the north, and you probably make it. I don't know. You get a little bit past Rassalantar, whatever that is. Not a town that you've really heard of before, but not too many distinguishing marks from that distance. Ampale you've heard a little bit about, and you'll figure you'll probably reach there the following day. But the ground kind of gradually gives way to a more hilly area as you're kind of in the foothills of the Sword Mountains, passing to the east of those. And off in the distance, you can see that the ground is, or the landscape is probably going to become more bog-like once you get over these hills. But you're probably not going to reach them until the next day. So once the evening comes, you really can't see too much once it starts to get dark from this altitude, and of course no city lights or anything like that in this environment. The landscape becomes very dark, so not much of a view at that point. So you guys head inside. Gradually or eventually Zephyros comes down, and he has prepared for you a great big meal. He politely asks Samuel if he wouldn't mind if he sat in his chair, but the rest of you guys are welcome to sit on the table. And he's got all sorts of exotic giant foods, exotic to you guys anyway. There's a very tasty nut soup. Looks like he's made that himself. He's got enormous blocks of cheese slices of cheese that he's cut from what must have been enormous blocks of cheese. You can see one slab is like, imagine like a wagon wheel.
Baldry's going to just wrap himself in a slice of cheese and eat his way out.
Excellent. And it's very good. It's very sharp, but also it's nicely aged. He does have some what he calls his nectar. It's kind of vaguely wine-like, but it's a little bit it's got like a hint of fruitiness, but also a little bit of a sweetness that's not cloying. It goes very well with the other food that he's prepared. As you said, he's a vegetarian, so he hasn't prepared any meat dishes for you, but he's got lots of lentils and other things like that.
Yes.
And he says that if Rilix is interested, he could have his griffins go out and catch Rilix something, or Rilix can eat anything at the table.
Relix has wings. She can go catch her own food.
Yeah, probably not too much prey for her up at this altitude.
Yeah.
What does Grillix eat?
I would imagine that, like most cats, she would be an herbivore or an omnivore.
Yeah.
But probably would prefer meat, but I'm trying to think if there's anything that would be bad for a cat to eat. I don't think cheese is. Well, cats like milk.
They like milk.
Yeah, so
Most cats are actually lactose intolerant.
yeah, I was
Right,
wondering
But they
about
still
that.
like milk.
They like it. They shouldn't have it.
Yeah,
well,
so we'll say Rilix
remember-
eats a whole bunch of
remember-
cheese and then gets stopped up later.
You're a farting cat all night.
Yeah, pretty much. Krebs sticks to the other side of the castle. Just like, you're not getting any seafood tonight, Rilix.
He's sitting there with his claws. I dare you.
Yeah.
Don't even try. Don't even try it.
Can't you just make a new Krebs? Why don't you help Rilix out here?
This is Krebs the 342nd.
Every day, create a new Krebs and feed it to Rilix.
Well, technically, it's the same one, so it would come back pissed off that it got eaten.
It's kind of like Kenny from South Park.
Yeah.
You killed Krebs, you bastard.
Bastards!
But yes,
I'm
the meal
sure
is
I have,
very
like,
good.
fried fish, something, jerky and whatnot. I feed it.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. You've got little kibble, little friskies in your pouch somewhere.
So yeah, otherwise the meal is very, very good, and you have lots of interesting conversation with Zephyros. He seems like a very amiable guy. He seems a little scatterbrained, but occasionally he'll say some weird non sequiturs. But yeah, he's definitely not the most grating of traveling companions. So yeah, afterwards he cleans up the dinner and says that he apologizes again for not having small folk sized beds for you, but he says he hopes that you'll make yourselves comfortable enough on the castle floor, and if you really
We
want
most
to,
certainly will.
if you really want to, you could try and sleep on the cloud outside, but it'd be really cold and probably nowhere near as
Yeah.
comfortable. Yeah, definitely very damp. So he recommends you stay inside where the inside is actually very comfortable, even though with the altitude, even with the door occasionally being open and everything, the inside of the castle is very temperate and comfortable inside and dry.
Yeah, once again, I thank him for his gracious hospitality.
Oh, and he thanks you for agreeing to accompany him and providing him with such excellent knowledge of the outside world. So yeah, if you guys bunk down, then if anything else you guys want to do before you bunk down, let me know. Otherwise, the night passes pretty uneventfully, and you wake up for day 2 of travel. I'm just gonna kind of fast forward through this unless there's something specific that you guys want to do.
Oh, and that means that your temporary max hit points have gone away. That spell only lasted for 8 hours, so turns out we didn't need it.
You're certainly
Didn't know we were
welcome
gonna
to
be hit.
prepare it again if you want for the following
Yeah,
day.
I'll prepare it just in case.
Yeah, and feel free to make any adjustments that you might feel necessary for, travel mode, if you will. But day 2 passes pretty uneventfully. You can see that you've traveled now. You pass over Ampale, continue heading north, and start to see the Westwood off to the west. It's just a large wooded area. And off in the distance, way far, far off to the north, you can start to see the beginnings of the Somber Hills, but that's still quite a couple days at least away from where you are now. But otherwise, that day passes uneventfully. Day 3. So,
We're
Okay.
still on the castle map.
yeah, I'm just kind of summarizing.
okay.
If you actually,
All right.
yeah, I'll pass you back there if something interesting occurs.
Okay.
But something interesting actually does occur on day 3. So I guess tell me briefly how you guys are spending your time, what you're generally doing. Are you inside? Are you outside? Or what are you, what's your general layout? Maybe arrange yourselves on
would-
the map where you'd be on any given day.
I would be all over. I mean,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be sitting still. I would probably spend some couple
Well,
hours inside and walk
yeah.
around.
Baldry's doing studying, making to his deity, speaking, all sorts of stuff, but then also going outside and just
Yeah, I'd probably be
looking at
outside
the
a
view. That's
bunch.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think once an hour
Mix,
I'd walk
mix of
around.
both.
Outside
All right.
Yeah.
Why don't you guys each roll a d20 and we'll say even you were inside, odd you were outside.
And are these
Okay.
these things are places we can walk through, so we could
Yeah.
we could navigate, we could make a circumference
Circumnavigate,
of,
yep.
of
Sure,
the entire
yes.
building.
Yeah, they're big archways.
So, okay.
All right, I guess I'm inside at the moment this happens.
I spend 100% of my time inside.
Okay.
So odd is outside.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna do a clockwise navigation.
So that was Groot, you're outside, and Valdry, you're outside. Why don't you each make perception checks?
Okie doke.
I perceive that we are screwed.
Okay.
I perceive that we have griffins to let loose.
Perceive that I am in trouble.
Groot, you see the castle wall. Valdry, though,
Good job, buddy.
you spot to the southwest, there is what looks like a group of, goes inside, a group of about maybe 8 or 9 large creatures flying towards the castle. They're about a mile distant, but they're larger than
Okay.
normal. They look like birds. Their flapping pattern matches that of a bird.
Okay. Valdry is going to haul ass inside
Okay.
and yell at Groot, "Get in here! Big flying things approaching the castle." I'm gonna get up here and say, "Oh, Zephyros, there are big flying creatures approaching the castle from the southwest. Range approximately one mile.
Barry Mark 1.28.
Engage."
Or factor 3.
Or yeah,
So you shout up.
sound red alarm.
Okay, so you shout up
Yeah.
the circle. You don't hear any response.
Whoa.
Shit. Oh shit. All right. I say to the rest of the party, "You hear that? Gear up. We got visitors coming. Flying visitors."
Can you
All right.
find the fucking giant?
Well,
He's a
Close
fucking
the
giant.
door. Can anyone hover?
Can somebody fly up and find him?
Well, he told us not to go up there.
Oh,
Right.
It's an emergency.
Well, let's close the door.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you can
Good
spend
first step.
a round or two, or like a few minutes
Sure.
closing the door. Anybody who's not
So we,
is anybody not in their armor?
I'm in my armor.
I think we would put it on as soon as we got up.
Okay, yeah, and I can't remember. I
don't
think
wear
that we
armor.
had figured out that nobody was in heavy enough armor except maybe Valdry. I can't recall.
Right.
Yeah, I'm in leather armor, so I
Alright.
feel like it's probably not that uncomfortable
Mine
to
is
be in.
medium, so I can sleep in it. My scale mail.
Okay, so if you guys,
I'm in studded leather.
for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to assume that you guys are pretty much suited up and ready to go. So while they're closing the door, you figure you maybe have about 5 minutes before those creatures that seem to be making a beeline for the castle would actually arrive. So is there
Okay.
anything else you want to do before that occurs?
Well, I don't think it's right that our
Guest is
the owner
Host?
of this
We're the
castle.
guests.
The
that's
host
right.
is
The
not
host is
around. So, I will. What will I do?
How does he get up and down? Is there a
He
ladder?
flies or
Floats.
levitates. He flies
He
or
levitates.
Oh, okay.
I guess we'll wait and see what happens. If something happens, I'm going up to wake up the freaking giant. That's what I'm doing. But I'll see what. Let's wait 5 minutes out. If nothing happens, then we're good, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I got a feeling something's gonna.
Valerie, can you fly up to like that second floor area without going all the way up? And
Into the area?
yeah,
Not that far, or the second level. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I can. I just gotta.
Oh.
Yeah.
Can I cast
And-
minor illusion and just make a yell, like a screaming sound, come from the second floor, like yelling out his
Sure.
name?
Sure. Yeah, you
So
can
that's what I'm gonna do.
see that there's a you can kind of see that there is a ceiling. Actually, the you can tell that the second floor, there is actually a second floor, and then there's another hole in that ceiling above that presumably goes up to the Eyrie. So there is at least 3 stories to this tower. But you'd be able
Yeah,
to target
I'm
like the
gonna make
ceiling that you can see on the second floor and have it emanate from there if you want.
right.
Wait, actually, what's the range of your
Yeah,
spell?
and well, it's 30 feet, so I want to. How tall is each floor? I was
Well,
gonna
this
ask.
floor is around 100 feet tall.
It is. Okay.
All right. I'm gonna do my
Wow,
radiant
100
soul, and I'm gonna fly up.
Okay. So you unfurl your wings and
Yep.
flap, flap, flap. You rise up
Yep.
This
and
is the first time we've seen that, correct?
No. Remember,
No?
I got the party started at Golden Fields.
Oh, okay.
And started the battle.
Yeah.
Right.
okay. So
Sorry, Groot.
you fly up. I'll move you up, and you see the second floor. It's much smaller, while still being quite huge, than the first. Much smaller than the first floor. There are basically 2. You can see the. Well, here I'll just reveal it. It might be easier to see it. Oh, come on. Roll 20. Just play with me here. Come on. There, that's good enough. So you see, it's basically one big open area. In one of these tower alcoves off to the left, there's this enormous giant-sized bed.
Yep.
There is a large wooden chest in front of which you see Zephyros actually laying on the ground, at present motionless, and on the east alcove, I'm calling it east for now, there's this large translucent orb that is on a big pedestal that is kind of glowing and kind of thrumming with some kind of arcane energy.
All right, I am going to fly up and over to Zephyros and assess him. Just like Zephyros, see if I can arouse him.
Okay. He looks like he is alive. He's breathing. At the present time, he seems to be unconscious or asleep. He does not respond.
Diabetic shock.
I wonder if I did something like, I don't know, cure wounds, would that like wake him up or get him moving or something like that? Would that
Sure.
work?
I don't know. Try it.
Yeah, try it.
All right. I am going to do the old cure wounds on him.
Okay. You cast it on him. He didn't appear to have any visible wounds that you see get healed, and
Mhm.
his state does not change. He continues breathing what sounds like normally, but his eyes remain closed.
Mhm. This orb that's over in the one alcove, does it look like there's something that was covering it that's lying on the floor around it or anything like that?
No, you don't see anything immediately like that.
Check his hands.
Let me look at his hands, see if I can see if there's any burns or anything like that, or
No obvious injuries to his
if
hands
not,
that you can see.
I'm gonna try and pull his giant blanket off his bed and throw it over the orb.
Okay. So while you're doing that, that's going to take you some time. This thing is actually tucked into the bed, and it's quite heavy. I mean, this is one. It'd be like pulling a very heavy.
How about the pillow? How about the pillow then?
The pillow would be more
smallest thing
manageable
that
as it's not really
Okay.
wedged into anything.
All
But
right.
you can pick up the pillow because it's light enough. It's still pretty heavy for you. It's
All
like
right.
basically you carrying a mattress around. But you
Yeah.
can do
All
it.
right. We'll do that.
And you can fly it over towards the orb. While that's happening, you hear outside. The rest of the group probably wouldn't hear this, but you can through these windows in these tower alcoves. The sound of flapping and rustling as multiple winged creatures apparently are landing outside. You drop the pillow on top of the orb. It lands on it, kind of totters there precariously for a moment, and then slides off the side and lands on the floor.
Ah, crap. Is there a pillowcase?
Yeah, you could spend maybe a round or so trying to get
Sure.
pull
Pull
or
that
a few
off.
rounds
Yeah.
getting at the
why not?
pillowcase off the pillow. And
I'm just trying to cover this thing up to see if it's having some sort of adverse effect on him.
okay.
Right.
What are the rest of you guys doing?
If we don't hear anything, then I wouldn't be doing anything.
Yeah.
I'd let you make
That
perception
waiting.
checks if you want to. I mean, you hear him rustling around upstairs and kind of cursing under his breath, but
I just yell up, "What's going on up there?"
He's seemingly unconscious and I cannot rouse him. And I said, I hear flying things outside.
So does Tim. Jesus.
yeah, I was gonna say, definitely Serendial can hear the sound of multiple creatures landing outside.
I yell
Okay.
up the hole. Do you need help?
If one of you want to try to come up here, that would be super.
I will. Okay. I will. What is my best climbing speed? Giant frog.
One big 100-foot leap for a giant frog.
I think the
About
most
the
useful
spider.
would actually, but then I wouldn't have hands and shit.
Ah,
So
sure.
I am gonna do a giant ape. I don't know where I'd put myself, but I would do an ape. And
Yeah,
I
so
would
I'm
climb
over
up. I
here.
got a climb speed of 30.
How are you gonna climb? This is
I don't
well.
know
There's no mechanism right here to climb straight up to the ceiling.
Well, if I see no handholds, then I guess I wouldn't change them to a giant ape.
No,
If
I
I
mean,
knew I couldn't climb, then I wouldn't do it.
yeah, it's basically like a sheer kind of brick-like surface.
Oh, well then, you're out of luck, dude.
All right, fine. Trying to wake him up.
Did
well,
you try jumping on him?
Well, I have no handholds. I guess I have to do a spider.
Unless
The
you
spider can climb.
have a winged beast that you wanted to try.
I can't fly yet.
Okay. Oh, that's a level cap
fly.
thing. Okay.
Yep, it's a level cap thing.
Okay.
So sure, I would
Yeah,
climb
spider
up
would
as
be no
a spider.
problem. It would take you a little bit of time to kind of navigate around the sides and along the ceiling, but you could certainly do it with very
Alright.
little problem.
I do that.
Okay. From outside, you hear a voice saying, "Master of the tower, come out."
Who is it? Come back later.
I say, who are you to come to this tower and challenge?
Not
What
challenging
am I
anyone.
challenging?
I wish to
We
speak with the master of the tower.
He's
He's
indisposed.
indisposed for a minute. just wait patiently.
He just needs to put pants on.
Can you
Send
open the
shovel.
door?
What do you
no,
want?
the house
What
is
are
a
you-
mess.
What are your intentions?
What do you want?
I just said I want to speak with the master of the tower. Who are you anyway?
There's guests.
We're the chosen
We're his
ones.
guests.
We're the breaking whatever.
The
Breaking
mighty wind. The
The
breaking
mighty wind.
The Lost Order. Order of the Lost. That's what it was.
Well,
He's
whoever you
not-
are, can you wake up the giant and have him come out?
We've been trying.
We've been trying.
Yes,
Kind of a
please,
problem
please
right
be
now.
patient. We are attempting to accommodate you. And I'm sorry. Come on, dude, wake up! What's going on? There's
So,
somebody outside that really wants to see you.
Can
So
you-
as a giant spider, I'm pretty sure I should be able to manipulate, grab something, help, or I can change back into my normal form.
Hey, do you have lesser restoration?
I do.
Try that.
Well, let's see. What is that conditions that works on? Blinded, deafened, paralyzed, or poisoned
Yeah.
is what it cures.
And it probably doesn't seem like either of those, hey?
He doesn't. Yeah. He just seems to be like out cold.
Right.
All
right.
Serendial.
An idea.
Serendial.
Yeah.
If you wish to make a knowledge, what would be appropriate?
Okay.
Knowledge Arcana type check.
No.
What would that be?
I shout down.
Alright.
There's this big
Religion?
glowy. There's this big glowy
with
orb
you.
thing in the corner.
I'm with you.
I rolled a 10.
No idea.
Beats me. I mean, does he seem like he's in a meditative state?
Well, based on what everyone's
Makes sense
described,
for-
as far as you know, he's just
He's-
laid out and unconscious. He's breathing, but not otherwise responding to any attempts to wake him.
And it looks like he just fell over. Not
Yeah.
like in a pose or
He's not in
anything.
his bed?
No.
He's
on his
not in
bed
his
or anything?
bed. He's slumped on the.
good.
He's on the floor, and by this big, blue glowing orb thing he has up here.
The two of us can get the blanket on the orb.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's try that.
With your
Okay.
spider climbing, I mean, basically you can kind of be sticky at will, so to speak, with your legs.
Yep.
So between you and Valdry
Nice.
flying, you would be able to get the blanket to cover the orb. So you do that. You
There we
pull the
go.
blanket out, manage to get it covering the orb fully. Doesn't appear to have any effect on Zephyros. And from the front door, you hear a loud boom, boom, boom. Will you please come
So
out?
come back in a few hours.
So as a spider, I crawl out through a window or something. I want to see
Okay.
what's down there.
Which window, west or east?
The one that has the door on it.
Well, the door towards the front.
There's no
the
window
towers
there.
are on the west and east. I'm just going by the map
Look-
orientation.
look
Okay,
up.
I go out the east and I crawl along the outside of the tower until I can see whatever is down there.
Circumnavigating the tower. First, on the east side, you see that there are 3 giant vultures on the outside, and sitting atop each one,
And they're
you see a human in some sort of a supporting saddle, like they were riding these or flying these things.
human.
Humanoid.
Do they have any
Oh.
any-
okay.
insignia?
It looks like
anything that
yeah, it
indicate-
looks like they're all wearing kind of the same general style of armor, and they have like capes, but they're also wearing these kind of helmets that it's hard to spot from where you're at that high up. I mean, you're over 100 feet up in the air.
It's got 8 eyes.
But it looks like they have some sort of they're wearing like masks or something that have these kind of flowing carvings on them of some sort. Again, it's hard to spot any more detail from 100 feet away.
Right.
But there's 3 over there, and there are a bunch more over here. And actually, these 2 of them seem to have dismounted. Actually, you know what? They've all dismounted their
So are they humanoid in
Yes.
size, like our
Yes.
size then?
All right.
The vultures are not. The vultures are much bigger, but the
Yeah.
others are humanoid.
I don't like one of us. Should one of us go out there?
What do you need? We can take a message.
Yeah, please leave a message at the beep. Beep.
I'm happy to go out there and talk to him if, you know, at least to buy time, if nothing else.
All right, I'm gonna take one of my water skins on. I'm gonna splash water all over his face.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I'm going to creak the door open enough, if I can, to just so that I can get out and that I can just see inside the
Okay.
doorway.
I'm gonna stand at the doorway.
And so I'll
case you
come
need
out and
help.
basically stand
Right.
like here, I
Okay.
guess.
So you push open the door. There is actually a latch that you
Just a little.
can kind of like a deadbolt that you can like slide out to keep yourself more safely locked inside. It's not like it just always opens and closes and without any kind of latch. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming
Sure.
you pull that back, and it looks like these guys might have stepped back a little bit. Paul, I'm assuming you're kind of surveying this from the side of the.
I am good. Yep, I'm going to survey, and if something goes horribly wrong, then I will.
I'm gonna put your ape here
Act
where
appropriately.
you kind of would be on this side of that. There.
Oh, he's a spider.
I'm
Yeah, I know.
spider.
I'm just
It doesn't
using
matter.
you as a
He's a
token here.
spider.
You would
Okay.
say be about
That's fine.
level with the tower here, so we'll say you're right there on the front, and you're in the front, kind of surveying.
Are you
this.
looking for a young woman with orange hair and braids by
Yeah.
any chance while you're up there? In ape format?
Rapunzel the ape. So Sorrendil, you open up the door and quickly kind of snake out, and you see these 2 humans. Now up close, you can see a little bit more detail than what Groot could. They're definitely wearing armor. They have capes, and they're wearing masks that are kind of a dark grayish green marbly color, and you can see that it looks like there's like a slit for the eyes that kind of merges into like a single eye outlet, and these curves in the mask look actually like they're made out of, or they're made to resemble tentacles that come up and kind of drape around
Yeah.
the head and like over the ear. And you definitely see though behind the mask though that looks like they're humanoid. It's hard, you can't tell what race specifically, but they're definitely humanoid. And they kind of
And they're
eye you up
speaking
and
common.
say, "Who are
Yeah.
you then? Where's the giant?"
I'm Serendil, guest of the giant. He is indisposed at the moment, and we are unable to wake him. What do you wish?
As I said, we wish to talk with him.
Well, that is not possible because he is not. We are
Con-
unable to rouse him.
Pain in the ass.
Who are you people?
I am
I say, who are you
Amarath.
people?
This is Navan. We've
And
been
who is-
sent to talk to the giant.
We would be happy to oblige you. Unfortunately, he is not. We are unable to wake him. So you're at an impasse. You can either wait outside until he awakens, in which case we would be happy to have him come out immediately and talk to you. If you have no way to wake him yourself, if you know of a way to wake him, we would be happy to utilize that to get him up. But otherwise, you can either give us the message to relay or wait. Who are you? I mean, you tell me who you are, but where are you from and why are you here?
I am here at the behest of our Lord and Master, and he has designated that we should bring an entreaty to him that he might join with us.
Okay.
Is he?
Would you give us this message to relay to him, or do you wish to wait?
I was told to deliver this message personally to him. So,
All
is
right.
this something that he does
Well,
often?
wait.
Is he going to be awake within the next hour, within the next day?
Unfortunately, we don't know. He found us and is taking us to a destination. We were on our way to the destination when he went to rest, he went to his chamber,
Is this here?
and we saw you coming, and we went to rouse him, and he was laid out on the floor. So we don't know if this is natural or unnatural. We honestly know very little. But we are unable to rouse him, so I suspect he is under some sort of spell or undergoing some sort of ritual that we don't know of.
Are you authorized to speak for him in any way?
Oh, sorry.
Yes, I.
Somebody asks you if you're a god, you say yes.
Yes.
I say only so much as a guest of a house can do so.
Fine.
That guy's honest. He's not gonna make that shit up.
Right.
Absolutely, I yell through the door.
Who are you then?
He got hit in the
This
head.
is Samuel.
He thinks he's Batman.
I'm Batman.
Of the Lost Boys.
Lost boy.
I'm
yes.
Batman of the Lost Boys.
This is Samuel.
Can you speak for the
Hi.
giant?
What do you need?
I was just telling your friend here, I've been sent by our master to make an entreaty to him to pool resources.
I step out and said,
Well, now who are you?
I
What
can-
the hell is this? How many of them are? How many of you are
sure.
there in there?
3,000.
More than a few, less than a lot.
Can I cast minor illusion? And it says I can
don't do that.
I can create a sound. Its volume can range from a whisper to a
I-
scream, and it can be my voice or someone else's voice. Can
I
I just
close the
make it
door.
his voice and have it sound like he yelled, "Go away!
Well, no, why don't you have him yell, what do you want?
I'm looking up
Go
minor
away!
illusion.
Leave me alone!"
Minor illusion has both somatic and material components, so that really wouldn't be possible to do in plain sight of them without them noticing.
Yeah, but
If you just want to start casting a spell, sure.
I'm behind the door. They can't see me.
They can
Popped
hear
my head out
you,
and waved.
evidently.
I popped my head out. And
Well, I
waved,
mean,
but
if Mirror, if you're standing out there, coming up there too, I mean, the door
Yeah,
is now much wider open, so they're able to see inside.
why are wait? Oh, we're opening the door.
Well, Mirror just
Okay.
said
was-
she walked
I-
forward and pushed it open and came forward.
Oh,
Yeah.
never mind. Apparently, we're just opening the door.
I can read and write in giant language, so if you would like me to take your message and when we revive him, I will give it to him. But other than that,
I don't know how to read or write German or German or giant.
German.
Oh, you
The Germans.
I do. I know how to read and write in giant language. So I can take your message in his language and pass it to him when he wakes up or gets out of whatever condition he's in, or you're going to have to wait. Those are your two options. Which one would you like?
He just kind of sits there and stares at you for a while. Why the hell would I need it in giant?
Yep, that's what I was gonna say too.
I was thinking the same
What
thing.
the hell?
If you just need me to write it down, I'm happy to do so.
Is it
In
is it
common.
he a giant?
Well, he clearly speaks common.
Common, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so what?
He says, "Fine,
No,
we'll
he
wait
needed
out
it
here.
five.
We'll wait out here for an hour. Please wake him up."
All
All
right,
right, so we'll try.
We do, yeah. Okay, and I'm
I-
Valdry's up there. Come on! What's going on?
Okay, so Valdry, as you
Wait,
you
wait.
dashed, you basically took some. Where did you get the water from? Did you just create water or what?
I got my water skin.
Oh, your water. Okay, so you basically open your water
Yeah.
skin over his face. As water splashes on his face, his eyes like fly open, but he doesn't move. And you see he just keeps breathing, and now he's staring up at you with his face covered in water.
He's got to be paralyzed or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, try the spell.
I am going to cast Lesser Restoration on him
Okay.
to see if it works. See if it frees him, basically.
All right. And you cast it, and you can tell the magic would normally have an effect, but he does not appear to change his condition. I will allow you to make an Arcana check if you wish.
Okay.
Or if it's a religion, if that would be more appropriate for... Well, no, actually, no, this would be an Arcana check. This would be very strictly an
All right.
Arcana check.
Okay, I'll give it a shot. Ugh.
All right, yeah, you have no frickin' clue.
Okay. So I shout down. I said, his eyes are open, but he appears like he's paralyzed. I tried Lesser Restoration on him, but it did not seem to have any effect. And there's something going on, something magical, but I cannot determine what it is. I said,
All
because
right.
my Arcana knowledge is not sufficient.
All right, so you guys can go away because clearly the answer is no because he's
Well, it might be an
Asleep.
hour.
We got an hour.
We've got an hour.
They're outside, so I'm gonna go inside and shut the door behind me.
I'm gonna look at his chest. Is his chest open? Does it appear like it's got a lock on it or anything, or could I open
Oh, the
it?
wooden chest. I thought you meant his actual chest.
Like,
Yeah, I'm gonna
Is his chest
crack it
open?
clear.
Or it's like the Thing, this tendril starts coming out.
Yeah.
The wooden chest is, let's see, it's a big chest, and it's an enormous
Big
wooden
chest.
chest, actually, and you don't
Start dumping
see a physical
potions.
lock on the outside of it.
Does anybody want to drop a rope down and maybe I could come up and get a better look at him and get another arcane roll?
Sure. Do
I
you
will-
shout that
I
up
will-
at me?
I will climb,
Yeah.
I'm going to climb back down, and I will grab the next person. It's 100 feet up,
Okay.
Yeah, no,
we got rope.
not 100 feet of rope.
We don't?
I have 50. Does
Yeah,
anybody
but
else
I got,
have
but
that?
I gotta tie it from my end to secure it to like the post of
All
the
right,
bed.
fine. If the giant
will-
spider
I will-
wants to carry me,
I will grab somebody and drag them up.
okay, drag my ass up there,
Yeah.
Mr. Spider.
Can I taunt and antagonize the people outside?
If you wish,
Sure. If you go
Okay.
outside,
I'll come back.
No,
We'll go back and
open the
forth.
door.
We'll go back and forth.
I would not recommend we antagonize these guys
Yeah.
until we know if they're good or bad.
Up, Samuel. You still are stuff. You're concussed. You don't know what you're
Go
doing.
away. No one likes you.
Or I shall be forced to
Let him-
taunt you a second time.
Let him be his own person.
I go
man.
up and I cast silence and touch.
Okay, so if you're doing that, then I'm going to assume that Groot took Serendial upstairs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so by that time he gets to the upstairs. Mira, are you literally casting silence on Samuel?
Yeah, I can't cast it on him, but I'm casting it right in front of the door.
Okay,
But he can just walk 20 feet away.
okay.
But
So
it's
Samuel,
still-
you
but-
begin to taunt them, and suddenly you realize that you're saying something, and no, you're hearing nothing at all. You're in complete silence.
Samuel looks at Mary. You bitch.
I'm gonna cast hypnotic pattern.
Okay,
Well, the door
the door is
shut, you
currently
know.
shut.
Oh no, it was on Dave.
Okay,
Oh, you're going to cast it on Dave.
That
Okay.
too.
all right.
Because it's somatic and material only.
Okay,
There's no verbal component.
I'll put it in the thing so I
Oh.
can see what it does.
so twisting pattern. So okay, go ahead and make a wisdom save, Dave. Against what's your DC, Kyle?
14.
All
This
right.
probably isn't going to be too big a challenge for the. Well,
No, it shouldn't be.
Well,
well,
You said need a
Oh,
bat.
he got a
roll.
13.
barely made it. Okay.
Wait,
No, you
It's
needed
a-
a 14.
Oh, you said
I
14.
missed.
needed a 4.
Oh, 14. Unless you want to use your inspiration.
No,
Okay.
I'll let it happen.
Okay. So you
He's just incapacitated.
yeah, you're
and has a
basically
speed of-
incapacitated. So you're sitting there. That doesn't necessarily disrupt concentration though for the spell silence. If you wish to maintain the silence, you can maintain it.
Does incapacitation not? Oh,
Um,
I thought it would.
let me triple check that.
Yeah, I would think it would.
Yeah,
Let's see, because it is a formal condition.
yeah.
Incapacitate. Oh, come on. Here it is. Can't take actions or reactions. Concentrating is not an action
Okay.
or a reaction.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Okay.
So yes, you can maintain the silence, but you can't take an. You can move, but you can't
Yeah,
take an actual
right.
action or reaction.
He can't
Yeah.
move. His speed
I'm
is
just
0.
kind of
Oh
like
yeah, and you're
dazed.
exactly. So you're just like and you're still in total silence. You two,
Yeah.
sorry, Groot and Serendil, you get to the first floor, and Serendil, you now see Zephyros. Zephyros
All right.
laid out. He's wet on the face. His eyes are open. He's breathing, but he's not otherwise moving.
Can I make another Arcana check now that I can see him?
Sure. Ooh.
There we go.
Okay. You, something is called to mind that, and you recall something about what he said about contacting other planes. That
Right.
Oh, you think he's communing with a plane?
well,
I think he's
when you cast a spell, contact other plane, you need to make a saving throw. If you fail, you take a bunch of psychic damage, and you're insane until you finish a long rest. While insane, you can't take actions, can't understand what other creatures say, can't read, and well,
Oh God.
yeah. So some variation
he's
on
taking
him
a
going
long rest.
insane, possibly from a casting of contact other plane. And you know that to end this effect before it kind of works its way out, a greater restoration spell would do the trick.
I say, any of you guys
None
got
of
greater
us have.
restoration?
No.
I
we
have
don't
less
have access to that yet.
Yeah.
sorry, man. I am. Yeah.
Ask our
No.
guests.
All right, so I'm gonna go down until. I turn to the spider and say, "Hey, can you take me back down?"
And I take him back down.
Paul, it looks
All
like
right,
your arm is actually blending into the background on your
Yeah.
face.
It is.
I
Yeah.
Oh!
I'm being eaten by a.
He's-
What?
Whoa.
Shoot.
Ow!
Yeah, so you're able to take him down if you wish.
I
All
do.
right.
I wish.
All right, so the whole way down, I play like bongos on his abdomen.
Well, you're gonna have to bring me down too. My flying spell has expired.
Don't bring me down.
So we're just gonna leave him up here all by himself.
Well,
Doo-doo.
I as
Well,
well
put
as
a-
the
Put a
healer,
pillow under his head.
as the healer, I will stay up here with him.
Put a pillow
Alright.
under his head and
Yeah.
wipe the
Comfy.
water off his face.
Yes, I will clean him up. Sorry about
Maybe
that,
close
dude. I
his
was trying
eyes, too.
everything. Yes, so
Close his eyes.
close the eyes so he's rested and hopefully doesn't go insane and kill us all.
So
All right,
Serendil, yes,
so-
you're brought back down by Groot. You'd be in the antechamber.
So I go to the door again and I open up a crack and I say, "All right, I went and examined it myself and
You say nothing because there's a silence spell there.
Oh,
Yeah, technically
say-
speaking, you enter that area. You see Mirror standing there, looking kind of dumbfounded, and Serendil's like,
Well, how
silence." How long is silence?
concentration, I think, and otherwise it's
you can step outside the door.
Well, no, I'm just wondering how long it is because it took me a while to get up there and a while to come back down. So I'm just curious.
Oh,
I'm
right.
looking it up now.
long
The
it lasts?
duration is 10 minutes or until concentration ends.
All right. All right. Well, I'll go outside.
Wait,
past-
no,
hypnotic pattern's
excuse me.
only a minute.
It's not concentration. It's just 10 minutes, or it could be dismissed. But you actually can't take an action.
Oh,
Yeah, I can't dismiss it.
for a minute. He
But it's
can't
only a
see an
minute.
act.
He is definitely not hypnotic pattern by the time we get down because it's only.
Yeah.
a
Oh,
minute.
right. Yeah.
Ah.
I'm sorry.
How
The
long does it
silence
take
lasts
you to
10
climb
minutes.
down?
The silence lasts up to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
The hypnotic pattern is only a minute.
All right. Yeah, as soon as I zap back into knowing, I guess I would.
Shoot him with an arrow.
Yeah,
Shoot.
I'd dispel my silence.
Okay.
All right.
So
All right. I still step outside and talk to them and say, "Okay, here's the deal. I went and
Touche.
examined him myself. He was trying to contact beings on another plane of existence. Unfortunately, he failed. He needs to rest for a full rest cycle. I don't know how long a rest cycle is for a stone giant, but I would have to say he's probably. Is he a stone giant or a cloud giant?
he's a
He's
cloud giant.
Cloud giant. Yeah,
Oh,
for
does
a
he have
cloud
greater
giant.
restoration?
I don't.
But I say,
Yeah.
unless one of you happens to have greater restoration,
Ah.
you're going to have to wait till his rest cycle is complete, or you have to give us the message. Either way, your call. We're fine either way.
Yeah, you can just leave too. That's
Give me a second here.
Or you could leave it, come back and
Just come back in a day.
in a day and see if he's improved.
Hopefully, this thing keeps floating along.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
I hope it doesn't require active guidance.
he probably doesn't want to treaty with people with weird masks like that anyway.
Do you say that aloud?
We don't know.
Yeah, that's probably why he silenced me.
Exactly.
He looks over. He looks at you, Samuel, and then he looks at you, Sorendil, and he says, "Okay, fine." He kind of laughs and shakes his head, and he reaches out into his pocket and he pulls out a pouch and he says, "Can you give this to him and tell him that the Kraken Society wishes to have an audience with him?" Yes.
Okay. All right. Now,
And that this is a
how can
token
he
of
get in
our
touch with
goodwill.
you? All right. And how can he get in touch with you?
Where can he find you?
We'll come back
Cares.
tomorrow.
All right. Sounds good.
Is there a time he won't
wakes
be
up
napping?
before then? We don't know. That's the thing.
Do you know how long they rest for?
You know how long a cloud giant rests after he fails to contact another plane? Because we don't.
Oh, Tim's gone.
Thanks. You've
Uber
been a
ride.
you've been a
Got
tremendous
hijacked.
help.
Ah.
Thank you very much. And he heads back over to
Very
his-
welcome.
I sense
I-
sarcasm.
I detect sarcasm. Yes.
Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
He shoots you a very dirty look, Samuel.
I say I apologize for my companion. Maybe.
Needs rest too.
So these guys get back on their vultures and they fly off.
All right. Yay.
Oh my
So
goodness.
what were they? The Order of
The Kraken.
Kraken.
Order
The
of
Kraken
the Kraken?
Society.
Or Kraken Society?
Yeah,
That's
they're
what
like
it
an
was?
80s electronic band.
All right. I gotta put that in the.
Closely related to the
so
flock of
good.
seagulls, but they had vultures instead.
Yes.
I want to do knowledge history.
Yeah, do any of us know anything
And-
about that?
Sure, go ahead and make
That's what
a knowledge history check.
Oop.
Didn't know shit. Ooh.
It's an 18. That's pretty good.
Whoa!
Nice.
There we go.
Jesus Christ, Tim.
You've been on fire today.
I
Yeah.
shut down. Who the hell were those guys?
Well,
Let me tell you exactly.
Well, I
Let
have
me tell you
studied
their
the
secret plan.
that was Bob.
The Kraken Society is none of the other you guys know anything about. Well, I've only seen 3 rolls, but you've heard of this society. It is an extremely secretive society. They're basically a very select group that really works in behind the scenes politically. They're not an overt group, but they supposedly worship some sort of a kraken that I would say you'd even know the name of this.
Yeah.
Are they good or evil or?
Hang on, I'm looking it up here.
Oh yeah. All he does know
Don
shit.
and Dave aren't getting this one.
Well, I'm from the far
I
eastern
was-
reaches. I wouldn't have heard of this shit.
I was adding them to the people, places, and things stuff.
Yeah, so they are worshippers of Slarkrithel, who is
Slarkrithel.
Slarkrithel.
Wow, look at that.
Not much is known about this being, but it's a kraken that is old, ancient, old, older than the giants old. Apparently lives at the bottom of the sea. Basically imagine like a great old one type of,
Okay.
like Cthulhu, essentially.
Cthulhu.
It's like a Cthulhu
Yeah,
Kraken.
exactly.
Yeah.
But they generally, like I said, they don't advertise their existence. They stay out of sight, but they tend to try to influence things from behind the scenes. And
Ah,
yeah, that's with that fantastic roll, essentially a natural 20.
And we're on their shit list.
Yeah.
thanks.
Are they? No, but are they good guys or bad guys?
They're not
Or are they-
generally known as being nice guys.
Okay,
They're
Yeah. So ha.
so we're on the
Yes.
shit list of the evil bad guys.
Whatever. We can kick their ass.
Let's not go on a boat anytime soon.
Right.
Well, we're
Yes,
up in
they
the
get-
sky, so if we end up in a boat, I don't know what the hell happened.
We're boned.
The best thing about being eaten by a kraken is hearing the words "Release the kraken."
That's true. That's true.
Luis, the Kraken. Luis Boyan.
I think there's alcohol called Kraken now. Also.
There is. It's like a black rum.
Right.
Cool. Does it
It's
make you
really
grow
good,
tentacles?
actually.
It does have. Yeah, maybe.
Makes you
Pretty
think you have
delicious.
tentacles.
All right. So I would say we just batten down and wait for.
yeah.
So is this bag he handed over? Is it locked or just tied or what?
It is a bag that looks like it's tied on the top.
All right, I'm gonna untie it and see what's inside. I don't want to hand over like someone's gonna kill the giant.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
open it
it'll
up.
only kill
Oh,
us.
it's gonna kill you.
Okay, so you
Open it
untie it, and
Uh-huh.
you pull the drawstring, and you open it up.
Yeah.
You look inside,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
don't see anything.
Okay. Well, then I take a copper piece and I drop it in.
It's a bag of holding. Perfect.
Is it a bag of holding?
The copper piece kind of, it operates. The coin reacts in a way that a bag of holding would. I would imagine that since it's an extra
Alright.
dimensional space, that it basically disappears from view.
Okay. All right, I just tie it up and I say, well, could be a bag of holding. Not really sure.
Well, can I detect magic?
Oh, I can ritually cast that.
Yeah, so can I. So
Okay. All right,
let's
we
see
can
if it's
detect.
magical,
I assume
please.
it's magical since it acted all weird.
Yes, the bag of holding is definitely the bag holding. The bag of holding is definitely magical.
Magical.
Well,
All right, so I say we wait and see if he wakes up. Otherwise,
Yeah,
If he
I'm up
doesn't-
here. I'm tending to him. I'm invoking my deities. To provide healing and just all that good stuff. Making sure his face is nice and dry and he's comfortable.
didn't he
Give
tell
mice
us to
chips.
stay away and he wanted his privacy? We probably should just leave him alone.
well, you made him comfortable.
Sure, we'll
Right.
be annoyed if he wakes up and we're up there, though.
Right.
So, okay, you're gonna stay up
Yeah,
there.
I-
Groot, are you gonna stay up there? Actually, you would have
No,
been
I
down.
am not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I-
think Groot should
I
get
should
down
probably-
and bring him home.
Yeah. Well, he
Yeah.
brought you down in
Good.
spider form, but
Groot. Okay.
I'll go grab you.
All right. Come get me.
okay. So you bring down, bring. Excuse me. And
you're a good
Serendil, I'm
ride
assuming
for a
you're
Spider-Man.
inside as well.
Yep, he just moved.
Okay. Actually,
Alright.
I just moved him.
Baldry says,
Oh.
who the hell were those guys?
Just ask Serendil.
They
He'll
were
tell
the
you all about
Kraken
'em.
Society. Well, now that you ask, they're the Kraken Society.
3 hours later.
3
I tell them
hours
everything I
later.
know.
So
And
it's
Baldur's
about
just like,
Mark Berthel.
holy shit.
So it's about midday. You've passed the time until it starts to get close to around dinner time, and you hear no stirrings from up on the second floor. So it appears that Zephyros is still dead to the world.
I'm gonna go outside and just. Are we still moving, or are we just hovering?
If you look outside, yeah, it looks like the castle is still moving, and apparently approximately on the same heading that it was before. And
We don't see
God
any
for
mountains or anything
autopilot.
Yeah.
in our way, do we?
no, there's some. You're now getting close to the. You're actually probably over the foothills of. Oh, what is it? Yeah, hang on. Come on. So yeah, over the Sumber Hills, not Summer Hills, Sumber Hills. Or actually, probably not quite. You're approaching them. You're probably close to the town of Red March. I can quickly swap you over to the map. So that's about where you are right now.
Okay, so we're a little safe for the
Ugh.
moment. We're heading
Tribor is right.
northeast,
Yeah,
right?
Tribor is right there.
Yeah. So hopefully we don't veer off and hit the Sword Mountains.
I think we're a ways away. Can we even see him in the distance?
Not at the moment, he said. So. Crap. All right.
Well,
Oh, we
I guess
wait.
we wait. Yep.
Okay. So yeah, it doesn't look like Zephyros is going to be in any condition to make you guys a meal. So you'll kind of have to fall back on your good berries if you wish to eat anything.
Well, and our rations and stuff. So I'm sure we have to give to Grillix as well.
And yeah, otherwise, yeah, it looks like he still hasn't waken up by the time you're done eating and cleaned up and getting ready to bunk down for the night.
Okay.
Well, that sucks.
So how do you wish to proceed?
We rest, right? What else
Yep.
we can do, right?
Yeah, I mean, were you going to take watches, or are you?
Oh,
Yeah, why don't we? Seeing he's still
Well, yeah.
incapacitated.
I feel like we were probably taking watches this whole time.
Yeah, probably. But
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
would be the
So-
watch order.
Yep.
Okay.
So let's see. Bring that up. Let's see what happens. Okay, so why don't you guys arrange yourselves where you would be?
Yep. I have.
I don't see a map.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
What do you mean?
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to move you back. My mistake. I was looking at a different screen.
It's surprisingly easy in Roll20 to do that.
Yeah, it is, because I can be looking at a different map that I'm displaying.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I'm probably about over there.
I'll be, I guess. Well, I guess I'll just be over here playing patty cake with Krebs.
Okay,
All right.
so
Yeah, Serenity and I are exchanging information about our homeland since we're from way out,
Yeah.
and plus we kind of knew each other when a little bit in Waterdeep too. So I'm always going to kind of gravitate towards him more than
Alright.
anyone.
So are two of you? I thought you were going by watch order.
Well,
Yeah.
sure.
Watch
Previous
order,
seat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Whoever's awake.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you rolling for that?
Yeah,
Or
well,
what?
that's why I was asking if you were following watch order, because I was going to go off of
Yes, we
Yeah.
are.
Following
Okay.
watch
Yes.
order.
that. Okay, so Valdry then. During your watch, I would like you to make a perception check.
Okie doke. Come on, perception.
Ooh.
Oh, that just absolutely
Nice.
sucked. That absolutely sucked. You, let me just see here. Actually, well, okay. You rolled a natural 1. Or it rolled a natural 1.
Yeah, oh, it.
Uh-oh.
It's an.
You, let me think here. So you had, I'm going to say that one of the books that you guys had been perusing had been like kind of resting on the table, but near the edge, since you had to kind of like really stretch to get it up there.
Yeah.
And during your watch, it actually abruptly tumbles off the table and slams down on the ground. Everyone else make perception checks at disadvantage.
Ah, crap. Something invisible.
Groot's dead to the world.
There it is.
Dave gets a natural 1.
both Mirror and Groot are dead
Oh.
to the world. And
We're sleeping.
yeah, everyone just
I got
keeps
a
on
low, I
sleeping.
got just
I
as
got
low
an
of a
8.
score without rolling a 1.
Yep. Same here.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into initiative here, and why don't you guys roll initiative, and we'll see where we go from here.
Alrighty then.
Oh, I didn't click my token. Son of a 14.
I didn't roll a suck initiative for a change. What do you know?
Okay, everyone's gone. Let me quick sort descending. Okay, so Groot, you're still asleep. So Valdry, you would be next to go.
So there's obviously something here. I'm trying to think what I can do. Because so I hear something, but I don't see anything, right?
Right.
I just have the sense that there's some presence here.
Seems
So
likely.
all right. So the book was on the table, like over here somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Just for shit, I'm gonna just fire off a sacred flame over there, just to see what happens. Light it up.
Okay, let me quick look that up as far as what it targets.
And I'll aim it at the point where the book was on the table.
Sacred
'Cause
flame,
it
you have
has
to
to have
target
a
a creature.
Oh, just a creature, huh? I have to actually physically see something.
Creature you can see within range.
Yeah. Well, I could do a burning hands. It's a 15-foot cone.
Yep, that's more of an area effect.
Range. Yeah. Is that 15? Yeah, I'll do
Perfect.
that. I'll do burning hands.
Like,
So where are you placing this cone?
So the cone goes for me out, right?
Yeah, it's
15
actually
feet.
it would be once that's double scale. Again, this map pisses me off. It's 1 square equals 10 feet on this map.
Oh, okay.
you'd have to move closer then.
I can
Well,
maybe
then
quickly update that. Let me see.
Well, I'll move into this one so that'll give me.
Yeah.
It'll
Yeah.
give me range to target that point.
Where was that book?
Right there,
Try that.
or where that book was. Yeah.
So try that again. Does it get closer to 10 feet for 1 square now? No. Oh, I did it the opposite way. Sorry. There we go. Now it should be 10 feet. Or approximately. Yeah, that's better. Okay.
Okay. So yeah. So I'll move up, and then that should give me. Yep. That puts me in range, and so yeah, I'm going to target like right there, right in front of the table.
Okay. Are you going to try and avoid the table with the flame?
Yes.
Okay, because it is a wooden
I
table.
don't
So.
want it. Right. I don't want it. I do not want it torch this table.
Okay. And are you going below the table or above the table?
Below, down towards the floor.
Okay.
Is it a flame or a radiant?
It's a
Burning hands is actual.
cone. It's a cone.
Of flames. Okay.
Yes. Burning hands. Okay, so you cast burning hands, and this cone of flame jets out and fills an area. You don't see anything that gets ignited by doing so, and you don't hear any cries of pain or any other sound. So you would guess that whatever you were targeting didn't get hit by that particular.
Has moved. Yeah. Yep.
It might be in the middle of the table.
So.
Could be.
Okay.
But I don't want to light his table on fire.
Right.
All right. Dun, 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 dun. You are suddenly attacked.
Sure.
But well, okay. Your AC, I'm assuming, is 24 or less, or
Yeah. My AC is 17.
Okay. You suddenly get hit by something, like a slam of some sort. And you take, let's see, 7, oh no, that's not it. 15 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh, shit.
Dang.
And I have to check something here. No, you wouldn't hear anything. Okay, and that's it. So I'm sorry, Sorendil, you can go ahead and make another perception check at disadvantage to see if that noise wakes you up. Okay, you actually hear the flames roaring and kind of like, whoa, what? And you see, Valdry's just like, and all of a sudden go, and get knocked back, like stagger back a step or two.
Okay.
So
Can
you
I
are currently
take an
prone.
action?
You are currently prone, but you can spend half your movement to stand up from prone and then take an action.
All right, I will do so, and I'm going to cast See Invisibility because I suspect that something is going on of a not quite visible nature.
Ooh, okay. You cast See Invisibility, and you do, in fact, see something. This kind of amorphous form that looks kind of like almost an elemental of sort.
Super.
And it's currently hovering about like maybe 10 feet up in the air and like 5 or 10 feet away from Valdry.
All right, I say, I see it. It's some kind of elemental thing, really loud, to see if any of my compatriots
Kill it.
Wake up.
will wake up. Oh, and as a bonus action, I start my blade song.
Okay. So Mirror, you go ahead and make a normal perception check to see if you're awakened by the shout.
Okay.
Okay, yes, you are awakened. Same condition, prone, but you see Your
Yep.
companion's up and you hear him shouting.
All right.
You do not
but
see
I don't
this.
see the.
No,
see
you
the
don't see this
thing,
creature.
Right. What's going on?
I fill him in.
Okay.
Invisible thing.
Okay, I can't see it, so I can't target it.
Yeah, I mean, the best I could do is give you a general. It's kind of over there.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to target it with
Right
a
over
spell.
there.
All right, I will ready my bow, and if it becomes visible, I will unleash my arrow.
Okay. Samuel, you can go ahead and make a perception roll with just regular, no
Just
disadvantage.
regular perception.
Yeah, everyone's starting to shout now, so. Oh, yes,
Well,
you are awake
Right.
like a
Damn.
snap.
I am wide awake.
Yep.
Um,
You even see a little bit of movement in the smoke left over from Valdry's burning hands of this form of this creature, so you can kind of roughly figure out what square it happened to be in for your action only. For this
so
round.
each of these squares are
10
10
feet.
feet.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah,
I'm
Valdry's
going
is a
to
little bit big.
cast. And
Farther
so I know
back,
about
probably.
where it is within a 30-foot cube, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I would go
Trying
so
to
far
decide.
as to say that with that perception roll, you basically kind of guessed what square it's in with the if you wanted to target, I wouldn't allow you to target it as a creature, but if you wanted to like pick a square it was in with the intent
Target
to attack.
the area.
Yeah,
Right.
you'd still be attacking an invisible opponent, but yeah.
I'm gonna cast hypnotic pattern in the area of where it is.
Interesting. Hypnotic pattern. Is that the same one you cast on? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So he needs to make a wisdom saving throw. And he
14.
failed. He got a 7.
Nice.
So,
So
it
Ooh,
is
he's
charmed.
is incapacitated and has a speed of 0.
Okay.
But
so
if
it,
he takes any damage, he comes out of the spell. So if someone can mark him somehow,
Fairy fire, maybe.
yeah.
Somebody has that.
Does anybody
If
have
someone
that?
can mark him, he shouldn't be able to move.
I'm just making sure
For a minute.
doesn't have any
yeah.
immunity to. Oh,
Yeah, he might have
It's-
immunity to it, I suppose.
not specifically to incapacitated or charmed. So yeah, okay, yeah, he's incapacitated. All right,
We can
Nice.
mark him. He can't move for a minute. Everyone.
Groot, go ahead and make a perception check. Now I'd say you'd get advantage at this point with all the spell casting and shouting. Oh yeah, no
Nice.
problem. So you are awake.
Right, so, I'm assuming I have some. Do I know anything that's going on? What the hell's going on?
You heard
Fill him in.
you heard Samuel shouting something about mark him before he moves or something like that.
Okay. So, is anybody pointing? Do I know?
Yeah, I'm like,
Oh,
we'll
okay.
fill you in quick. Like, yeah, you do
All right,
Thank
so
you.
I turn into a giant constrictor snake
Oh, interesting.
with hit points because he has blind sight.
Ah,
Nice.
So, let's see here. He can only move 30, so that's gonna. So if I'm there, where is he? Above Baldur's head.
No,
yeah,
he's
he's
the
about 10
blue
feet in the
dot.
air. Mhm.
Oh, he's
blue dot.
blue. Oh,
right there. Yeah.
10
well, there
feet
we
in the
go.
air.
Well, then I can move right there. And I got reach. And I can I have blind sight, 10 feet. So I'm assuming that me being that close to him and as large as I am, I would be able to sense him.
I'm just looking that up now. So I cannot look up how blind sight works. There we go. Okay, blind. Yeah, Just linking it through. Monster with blind can perceive its surroundings without relying on sight within a specific radius. Creatures. Okay, basically it's you're not relying on its being invisible, so sure.
Cool. All
You
right.
can target it
so
normally.
Then I'll do that.
Okay.
Okay. So I will do a constrict first, so I can grapple it.
Okay.
No idea if that's a hit or not. It's
That is
24.
definitely a hit.
So it is grappled.
Actually, it is
and
not, but go ahead
it's
and roll
not, that's
damage.
fine. 13 bludgeoning.
13 bludgeoning, which it's resistant to. Okay.
Okay. And then I will bite it.
And it's no longer dazed.
Yes, it is no longer
23.
dazed or incapacitated.
Sorry.
23 definitely hits. Oh wait, it's not invisible to you, so you're still attacking with normal attack roll.
Yep.
So 10 piercing, which it is also resistant to.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So you tried to grapple with it, but it kind of slithered out of your coils, and it's kind of this amorphous thing that just kind of more like your coils just kind of constricted on nothing more.
Bummer.
Yeah, you sense that you were able to damage it by constricting it and biting it, but it's like pieces of ether kind of shredding off of it.
Oh.
Okay, and Voldry's up. It is now, well, you can't see it, but Serendial, you can see it, and Groot, you can see it.
Like, tell me where to aim.
He's
Right next to the snake.
right where the snake is biting.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Okay.
I can't say anything because I'm a snake.
All right.
Sorry.
I'm gonna do burning hands again, and target not at the snakes because I don't want to.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
But I'm gonna target where I think this thing is, and going to cast it at level 2.
Okay, so again, you're doing this, and
So it's got to make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay, I would say that Groot as a snake is just outside of your cone, as 15 feet. So yes, it would need to make a dexterity save. You're not at disadvantage since you're not directly targeting it. It actually, what's the DC?
14.
Did not make a save.
Okay.
Nice.
So it takes.
So I cast that at level 2.
Yep. So it'd give you a little
So
additional.
it's 40. Yeah.
46.
Yeah, 46. Why?
Why don't you
Oh, I gotta.
roll it as a attack on your sheet?
Yeah. Yep. So.
Just type roll /46.
Yeah.
Yep, can do that.
$16.
Yep.
Okay, and it looks like that did full damage to it, as far as you could tell. Well, you couldn't tell, but Serendial and Groot, you could tell that seemed to burn away parts of the.
Yeah, hit it.
That hurt it. Oh, I can't say that. That's right.
Yeah.
So you hit it.
I hiss happily. Yeah. The snake is grinning.
Hit it.
Does anybody speak
Okay,
parcel?
I'm sorry?
Anybody speak parcel tongue? Sorry, just kidding.
Okay, so this creature, it did not like that at all, and it's gonna fly. Well, let's see. It's gonna ignore your opportunity attack. It actually flies down. So Groot, you get a
Of course it
attack of
does.
opportunity.
Which one? I guess it doesn't matter. This one does more damage, I suppose. I guess that misses.
That would indeed miss.
Yep.
So it flies down to you,
You're
Valdry,
gonna beat
and
the
it
shit out of
makes,
me again.
2 attacks on you. First one is 19, which I believe would hit.
Yep.
Okay. For another 8 bludgeoning. And next one is 21, which would also hit.
Yep.
For another 12. So 20 points total bludgeoning damage. And then it's going to stay where it's at because it's invisible. And it doesn't want to draw an... well, no, it's invisible to you, so it wouldn't draw an opportunity attack by floating away from you because you can't see it. So it's going to fly up a little bit higher this time. It is now closer to 15 feet up in the air. So out of immediate reach. Well, the snake, I don't know. What is your reach as a snake?
Well, I'm a huge creature, so I'm guessing I'm taller than normal
Yeah.
5 feet. So I'm 10 feet total for my reach.
10 feet
So
tall.
plus my height. So I don't know. I'll let you figure it out. You're
I
GM.
would say that he saw you attack. I'm saying he's he's high enough that he's out of
He's
your
higher
immediate
than
reach.
your reach.
Okay, sounds good.
Because he did see you attack and didn't like that much. Okay, that's his turn though. So Serendil, your turn, and you can see him.
Yep, I'm gonna cast magic missile at 3rd level, so I'll get 5 missiles.
Okay.
So 17, 20.
Okay, and all of those definitely do damage. And it kind of like tears holes in it, and it doesn't make a sound, but it does not look happy. Kind of twists and form. Anything else?
I'm gonna move up to here and point right where it is. Say he's right there, about 15 feet up.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Mirror, you
All right.
cannot see it. You basically would be...
Can I shoot at disadvantage?
Yeah, you'd basically be able to... you could shoot in that area, and essentially
Yep.
you'd be making attack at disadvantage.
Okay, I'll try it with, yep.
Oh, nice. Either one of those would hit.
Nice. And he's been hurt. So
Uh,
16.
Yeah, that Colossus Slayer does...
piercing.
What kind of damage does that do, or does that just add to whatever damage is
That's-
dealt by the
That's
weapon?
added. That's added for any foe that has been previously damaged.
Right, but is the type the same as the weapon damage, or is it some additional
Oh,
kind of...
Just that they're wounded, basically.
No, I need to know what type of... Is it piercing damage,
Yeah.
or is it like...
Yeah, this is my arrow, so I
Okay,
mean,
it's not like radiant damage or some other type of energy damage.
No.
Okay,
no.
that's what I need to know. Okay, so then he would take half damage from that. And... Okay. All right, if anything else or any movement?
Oh no, I'm gonna stay where I'm at.
All right, then Samuel's up.
I'm going to use my bonus action to give a bardic inspiration to Serendil.
Nice.
So you have a bardic inspiration, Tim.
Cool, thank you.
And then
that-
I'm going. Oh, what
Is
was
that
that?
D6 or D4 or?
I think it's D8.
Oh, it's a
Yeah,
D8
you're
now.
5th level now. So.
Yeah,
Yep.
5th level. It makes it a D8 now.
Nice.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Let me double check. Yes, it's now D8.
Okay, thank you.
You
And
can
then
add a
I'm going
D8.
to cast invisibility on myself.
Oh, two can play at that game.
But I
Okay.
still see you.
Yeah, you can.
You can hide after giving me that bardic inspiration. And just jump up on the table, or...
Yeah, I'm assuming from the chair I can just climb onto the table pretty easily.
Yeah, sure. It would be.
Like I can't go far. It probably uses up most of my movement to just get up there. But
Let's say it takes half your movement to hop up.
yeah, so yeah, I'll just hop up on the table.
Okay. Groot.
I will slither over and I will attempt to put my snake body between Valdry and wherever you were pointing. Because I know I can't see him because it's too far away, but I don't want Valdry to get hit anymore, so I'm gonna attempt to defend him. That's what I do.
All right. So basically, Valdry, you would essentially have what am I trying to say here? You basically attacks against you would be at disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
So that is Groot. Valdry's up.
Well, what I can do is I could cast my Spirit Guardian spell, which is a 15-foot radius. So let me just check, but then I can specify who is unaffected by it.
Yeah. That's a kick-ass spell. I had that
I
last.
hate that
So
freaking spell.
basically, all of my friends,
As a DM, I mean.
and I can't tell Samrel, so Samrel he's invisible. So Groot and Krebs and Serendiel and Mirror are all going to be unaffected by it.
Okay,
So
I'm going to give you a 15-foot aura here. There you go.
Sweet.
So
now if he tries to, if he starts, so if the elemental starts his turn in this cone, he's got to make a wisdom saving throw.
Or enters it.
Enters it, yeah.
Enters it, yeah. Okay. Well, it's actually its turn, so it needs to make a wisdom saving throw. It failed miserably.
So 3d8 radiant.
Radiant damage. Okay. Let's see. It is not resistant in any way to radiant damage. So that
11.
is 11.
Nice.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not liking that at all. It's gonna kind of floaty down here, and it is going to try and do another multi-attack on you. It really doesn't like the way you're doing a consistent damage. Oh, that was a poor attack. 8 misses totally. And 15's not much better. So both of his attacks failed. So that's his turn. And, well, let's see. Is he going to try and fly out of there? You know what? Yeah, he's going to draw an opportunity attack from you, Serendil, since you can see him. And he's going to fly.
I can see him too. He's within 10 feet.
Yep. Okay. Yep. So he would actually draw opportunity attacks from both of you as he flies away.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to take that.
Yeah, nice.
Inspiration?
Take that 21 as my inspiration.
Okay. Then that would definitely hit, as would Groot's attack.
Unfortunately, it's just 8 piercing. I don't have anything magic going on with that.
Okay, so looks like then 17 half damage, so 8 points total he'll draw from that. And he moves actually over to here.
All right.
You can both see him.
See him?
You can both see him.
Okay.
Yeah, he's on top of the table. Well, actually, yeah, from where you are, you can barely see him.
That's all I need.
Does he bump into Samra?
No, he's just flying up next to him.
All right, I'm going to cast Scorching Ray at 3rd level, which gives me 4 rays.
Okay.
So here we go.
This chick is toast.
Ooh, nice.
Okay, so this one I'm going to take the D8.
Which one?
I'll take it on the 11. So 14?
14 is enough. So 3 of the 4
okay,
hit.
so 3 hits.
And this is fire damage, I assume.
Yep. So not so great a roll on the first one, but
Looks like
19 damage.
total. Yep. Okay. Yes, you actually managed to burn a whole bunch of holes in it. It looks to be in pretty bad shape. It's kind of barely held together by strands of this ethereal matter that you can only see.
Okay, and I yell, "It's right. It's immediately to your left, Samuel."
Well, you can't. Oh, you can see me. Never mind. You can see me. No one else can.
Nope.
Everyone else is like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
He's gone off the deep end.
But you were on the table when you cast a spell, right?
No, I was on the chair.
Oh.
Yep.
But I can
So,
still see him.
Mirror, you have it's your turn. You have no idea where
Yep.
Samuel is or where the creature is.
Right. But he
Last
said
you
his-
saw me, I was on the chair, so that's your best guess, I guess.
Yeah, but he said immediately.
To your left, but you don't see Samuel.
Yeah.
Right.
You have no idea if he's still there.
I know he was on the chair.
Yeah, but you would know. Well, you wouldn't know for sure. I mean, he could have moved anywhere
Right.
since then.
That's your best guess, yeah. Not that you
Yeah.
know.
Mm. Well, I'm shooting at disadvantage anyway, correct?
Yes, but I would pick a random square to even see if you got into the square that
Okay.
I would
Yeah,
be
I
basically
don't
picking a
wanna-
target for you.
I don't want to hit Samuel, so I'm just gonna do like I did last time, get an arrow ready, and if I'm comfortable where it is, or if he becomes visible, I'll shoot.
Okay, just to be more precise, define what would make you comfortable where he is.
Like before, Serendial said he's right here.
Okay.
He's pointing at it.
Okay, so if you get positive visual identification of a particular specific location, you will fire at that location.
Right.
Okay, cool.
From any of my party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Samuel's up. You heard, yeah, he's right to the left of you.
Yeah, so I could probably attack.
You could target that square, sure.
in that
You'd still be
square,
at
but I-
disadvantage as attacking an invisible opponent, but you could
Unless you're doing
certainly-
an area of effect attacks of some type.
Yeah.
So if he connects on this attack, would that give me enough confirmation that
depend
they're
on what
in that
connects
square?
and what happens.
Right. All right.
What kind of attack is this?
Did we get enough rest that I would have gotten any spell slots back, or not?
Well,
Yeah.
it's been like 2 days, hasn't it?
Sure.
No, since I used hypnotic pattern on Dave.
Oh,
No,
well, no, this is that night.
Yeah.
you have
Yeah,
not
got-
completed
Well, I
a
didn't
long
know.
rest yet.
We were all asleep, so I didn't know how long we were asleep. Which
Right.
It was during the night, so
yeah, okay. That's then I'm gonna do nothing except give a bardic inspiration to Serendial again.
okay. Groot is up.
Well, I heard that. It's next to Samuel, so I knew he was theoretically on the chair. So I'm going to move. Yep.
Yeah,
I'm
you have
pretty
blind
sure
sight.
he is,
You
though.
can see him.
Oh,
Yep.
Okay.
But so I was going to move up to where the chair was on the table, and I'm assuming that when I get close, I would be able to sense him. 'Cause he's
Yes.
right next to the dude, right?
Both of them. No?
Yep. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and bite
That hits.
and constrict.
Ooh,
Critical.
crit.
Ooh, look at that.
Dang.
So 9.
Oh.
So this would be, it's 22, 31 total. Well, that's both resistance. So 31 total. So 15.
Yeah, even with the resistance, that is enough. You actually constrict it,
Wow.
and it basically your coils still come together, but you see the fragments of whatever this thing was made out of just kind of flow out into nothingness as it dissipates. and
What
disappear.
the hell was that?
What the hell was that? And what did you do, Valdry? Who'd you piss off?
You
think
guys can go ahead and make
I would
another
defend
Arcana check if you
myself.
wish.
Is that something that our friend keeps here? Like, what the
23.
hell?
Serendil,
Jesus.
you are relatively sure that that was an invisible stalker. You've heard of that before, being kind of summoned and used for specific purposes.
Dave's pretty sure it's
So-
a
So an
woman
invisible
from
stalker came to
Ipanema.
kill Valdry.
What's
Well,
that?
Yeah.
What the hell?
An invisible stalker is something
Yeah, I
that
know.
goes after
I'm
a quarry and tries to kill him. So something wanted to kill Valdry.
Well, once again, I started
was on
I
watch.
started the party.
Well, no.
I
Well,
was
but he
on-
was also on watch, so it could have been an
I was on
invisible
watch.
stalker sent against us as the party.
Oh, as the party, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think it was those.
Well, we are the chosen ones, or the lost ones,
right.
or the fat ones, or
Lost
the
Order.
boring
The
ones.
Lost
I don't
Boys.
know. The Lost Boys.
Yeah, and I mean, as far as you've never actually tried to summon one before, so you're not entirely sure of what the parameters are of its directives, how loose it can be in terms of directives. It could have, yeah, but yeah, you've
Well,
never run
gee,
into
Guy with
these.
red hair over there.
Yeah, you've never run into one of these before.
Who knew? Gee, guys, who knew we were here? Who did we just speak with earlier today that knew we were here?
Ah.
Yeah, but why they didn't?
Yeah, but why would they try to kill us?
They were looking for
Because-
the giant, not us. They didn't.
I mean, they may
know
want
who
to
we
kill
were.
us
Samuel?
eventually. Maybe they wanted to kill
I
Sam.
don't know.
Maybe Samuel should try being.
They would have had to
Why-
have, like, sicked it on us while they were still here, because how else would it have gotten? Like, it can't fly, can it?
Sure,
I think it can.
Like, it
Yeah.
can?
it was
I don't
flying.
know. I don't know
Yeah.
anything about these things.
It
Yes,
was
well,
flying, so
yeah, I mean, Sorrento, you would know that it normally does have, it can fly or hover, I should say. But go ahead and make what am I trying
Maybe
to
they
think?
got it here on a vulture.
Oh, make a what?
I'm trying to
I
think
don't know
what would
about
be.
you guys, but I'm feeling a little beat up. I'm down to 15 hit points.
I can heal you.
Make an insight check.
Cleric, hear yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you have no
okay,
clue.
Suck for insight too.
You do know that it does fly, but you're not really
Alright.
sure where it arrived or when and how.
Okay.
But in any case, I think this is a good stopping point for the night. I'm going to say you guys finished the rest of the night without problem. I mean, you get the
thank
benefit
God.
of long rest.
So do we get our full night's rest?
Yes,
Does the
you're
giant
usually-
wake up?
yeah, it would be the normal long rest benefits from waking up, and we'll see what happens and if your host awakens at that point next time.
Yeah, so he didn't wake up from any of that commotion.
Nope, not
going
nope. You could have brought
Great.
down the whole castle, and apparently he would have slept right through it. But we shall see what happens next time.
All
All
right.
right. Cool.
Cool.
Okay,
Thank you
fun.
very much, guys. Good session.
Thanks.
We'll see you next time.
All right, thanks, guys.
See ya.
Yep.
See ya.
Have a
Good
good
night.
one.
Bye.